Sorry, I wanted to make sure I started up before that song ended, and let me get the new playlist we're listening to on. Oh, I love the Battle Hall music. Strong start to the Nintendo playlist. Also, let me know if that music volume is okay and not too loud. What's the song playing? The song that was just playing was Shower Duty by Meaningful Stone. Really, really good song. It's been a while since I listened to that. I really should sit down and listen to the whole album. But let me send the link to both chats just so that you guys can get that. I love that song. I really wanted to do a Leica's animated thing to it at one point. Maybe someday. I keep saying that, and I've done like maybe one animatic. Arm anatomy, scary, but like scare me even more, so this can't be too bad. Exactly. And like, honestly, so for reference, tonight is a study night for me. I am not teaching you, I am learning something new. And it's only fair that we have these worked in every so often with the study nights where I teach you something that I know. I am not God, I do not know everything about drawing. Ooh, captions, thank you, Bungie. Also, Harpy, thank you for pointing out that the bot wasn't on. I was running a little bit late because we were out of the house a lot today. I'm a little bummed because I wanted to work on Leica's more today, but we had stuff going on, so thank you for the pet, Cyan. Critter isn't the god of art? No, but I may be the muse. I'm okay being muse of art. It's like not powerful, it's just inspiring. So, I went to urgent care this morning, as I promised, because it's been 2 weeks and I've still had the cough. And I tested right at the beginning. I tested to see if it was COVID or if it was the flu. It's an either. So we weren't worried about that. We weren't super worried about being contagious because no one else in the house has gotten anything. But because it's been a while and the cough hasn't fully cleared up and I'm still a bit congested in my chest, we went to urgent care this morning. And, you know, they were like, all right, you sound fine. There's no fluid in your lungs, which is really good. I was kind of scared. I was having a bit of a ragged breath and cough, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want bronchitis. But it's not that. It's fine. They basically just put me on an antibiotic, gave me some more souped up cough medication, and sent me on my way. So that's what we were doing this morning. And then we get home and we found out they shut our water off because they're doing plumbing work today. So we don't need the notepad tonight. I think we're okay without it. The only thing is I could make the drawing canvas a little wider. If you guys don't mind me adjusting that while I'm flying. But basically, we were out of the house a bit today. They scared me so bad. They said they went to the hospital. I'm sorry. I've called everything that's not my PCP the hospital my entire life. I didn't know there was a difference. So that's why you breathe ragged. Your breath raggedy. I'm sorry. I have a cold. Or something. I guess it's not really a cold anymore considering it's been here so long. Oh, where's my CSP? There it is. Stroking wizard beard. Giggling. Yes, bestie, there's a difference. I learned. Also, welcome in, Sam Waffles. Hello. I did learn, like I said, I didn't get to go to the doctor a lot as a kid, so I had to learn. I need help with doing a diva pose in other angles. I don't know what a diva pose is. I apologize to disappoint. I guess I could, like... Sorry, I'm only hair adjusting this just so that I have enough room to make sure the whole canvas is visible, but still, like, fills out the whole screen, just so we're not wasting any space. It's okay, everyone's still filing in. There's some time. Alright, it's a bit... You good, brother?
Yeah.
What was that?
I'm putting all my computer stuff. I stole your bunny shelf.
Oh, that's okay. You can, I have extras. Please do use them.
So my keycaps and switches.
Did you send the note emoji because I'm studying? I won't even take it as an insult. I love to study. I've always been a geek. Alright, that's pretty solid. Sounds of Forrest fighting for his life in the background. He's actually been doing really good. Oof, that was a really harsh breath, sorry. He's been doing really good. He's been clearing up his desk and organizing and stuff, and it looks really pretty. When he's done and I have permission, I'm going to take a picture. I meant to reply to someone. It's okay. I was giggling. No, I'm not upset. Alright, so if you didn't get the memo tonight, I'm going to be studying arms. I am not pleased because this is something I have avoided doing for so long. So long. I tackled hands, I've tackled the full body gesture in simplified forms, but actually doing, like, anatomically correct arms is something I have avoided, like, my life depended on it. So I will be doing that tonight. And to do the study tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm first going to sketch the figure of the photos that we have, and then I'm going to try drawing them not as a sketch. I think at some point I am going to make a diagram for myself where I put notes on it and, like, draw out the different muscles of the arm. But for tonight, at the very least, I'm just going to be doing studies. Will you include hands with that? I have actually done a hand study stream before, and I will definitely do one again. I say this every once in a while. I do hand studies, like, once every year, once every 6 months. Not because I don't know how to draw hands, but because I feel like it's a skill you always need to build upon and freshen up on. Because you can get comfortable drawing hands in the same pose, like, 600 times. And then after a while, you're like, I've drawn the same hand posture, like, 12 times on this page now. I need to spice it up a bit. But yeah, we're doing arm studies tonight. Why do anatomical arm when you can draw big, fat, fluffy limbs? I mean, I do both. I think both are fun. But I think for me, in my experience, I draw fluffy limbs better if I understand the arm movements and muscular structure beneath them. Because I also like drawing body fat. Also, I need to share this. I need to share this drink with you all. I found out I've been drinking this coconut juice that I had when we went out to Hot Pot. And I really, really liked it. But the label is in Chinese, so I didn't know what it was called. So I managed to find it by just looking up coconut juice with lady on can. And by doing so, I went down this rabbit hole where I found out, apparently, the packaging of this coconut juice has kind of become a meme. Hi, I'm working on some fan art of critters studying with your videos. I hope it's done before the stream ends. Oh my gosh, Jaspers, that's awesome. Hold on. I took a picture. Apparently, the packaging of this has become a meme because it's kind of, like, silly, tacky, I don't know. It's just, there's so much information on this can. There are so many words, there's so many, like, images of just random things. But the thing is, it's really good. It's really good coconut juice. There's not that many calories. Like, I think the 37 is that there's only 37 calories in it. It's not very sweet. It's nice and mild, but it's refreshing. It's just so... The can design is so funny. This is a tabloid-ass can. Dr. Bronner's-ass packaging. So, I did manage to find out this brand of coconut juice is called Palm Coconut Juice, or Palm Brand Coconut Juice. It's really good, though. It's yummy. Pardon me. I have found something that I like drinking in place of energy drinks, which is a huge win for me because I'm not really a huge juice guy. I don't like drinking stuff that's basically just like sugar water. But I also wanted something that was... I don't like bubbly water. Like, I don't like... what is it called? Seltzer water. And then I found out seltzer water is bad for your teeth anyway, so I guess it was kind of good I always avoided that one. But finding this was a huge victory for me. I just think that the packaging is kind of funny. And the fact that this is how I remembered it and everyone's impression of it made me giggle a little bit. Nefarious tabloid coconut juice. Anything carbonated the carbonation itself makes it acidic. Really? I almost forgot. I got Clip Studio during the sale yesterday. I'm excited to use it. Oh, I'm so glad. I love Clip Studio. My lala. I'm getting a cappuccino and a matcha scone. Ooh, fancy. Also, Danny Paw emoji. Thank you for the... Whoa! Thank you for the sub 6 months in advance. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. My girlfriend keeps saying you sound exactly like our high school science teacher every time I pull up your streams. I actually don't mind that comparison. I don't know what your high school science teacher sounds like, but, like, high school science teacher vibes, so long as they weren't, like, a bad person or, like, evil, I don't think that's a bad thing to be. I have been compared to high school science teacher, elementary school librarian, and children's show TV mascot. And I think all of those I accept. Bill from Pokemon, Pokemon scientist NPC voice, like in the anime. Unrelated to the actual conversation, but I have just remembered the college professor I had who talked like a YouTuber. That's so scary. That's so scary. Like a debate YouTuber, or just like a, hey guys, college professor here. Why would taking a sponsorship take your dignity? Because at that point, I become a mascot. They've basically asked you put a price. So here's the thing, right? I don't think the act of taking a sponsorship for something that you personally like is a bad thing. Especially if you use the product and you know that it's good. But when that honey controversy came out, and there were all these people who were really surprised that honey was like nefarious and taking money from creators, I remember sitting and thinking, I had always really distrusted honey, because I'd used honey and I'd seen that exact thing happening, and compared the coupons and prices. And it's where I kind of thought, like, I think if you're going to take a sponsorship, you should only take it if you need it and if you actually use the product. And otherwise, I find it to be very disingenuous. Not that I get mad at people, but just that I wouldn't do it myself. Since when are edibles a thing that to commercialize? Corporatizing marijuana now? It's a whole thing, you have no idea. Hey guys, Professor here, back again with another college lecture. Good God. It was always very what's the catch, exactly. Seems you're attempting to learn to draw an arm in perspective. Would you like to Clippy? Huh? Markiplier turned into a psychic that day. The thing is, I don't even know if Mark's a psychic. I just think he's really good at spotting sketchy business practices. He's been in the game long enough to know. And I would like to think that with my experience and the things that I've, like, studied throughout my life, I do too. Certainly not as good as someone that's been in this as long as he has and with the amount of, like, influence that he has, but I would at least like to think that I am trying to follow in his footsteps. I feel like that could be something brought to civil court or criminal court depending on how much they pay you for breach of contract. If they're paying you to host their product advertisement and you delete the video, you're not upholding your contract anymore. Exactly. That's one of the reasons why... Where are these armrests from? They're just from Pinterest, and honestly, let me grab you the Pinterest board that I have, because I have a Pinterest board that's all of my art assets and art references, and I have the boards broken up into sections by what topic they are. Oh, you had the same mindset from Markiplier? Exactly. Exactly. I think that it's a healthy mindset to carry. It's also how people end up falling for MLMs, multi-level marketing schemes.
Not gay men?
Not gay men. MLMs, the gay version, are awesome. MLMs, the money version, is not awesome. Certified cringe bad. I just trust every sponsor ever since most of them seem like scams anyway. So here's my other thought, right? If us... And this is just my thinking as a businessman, so walk with me here. If a sponsor is asking me, who is an art YouTuber, to sponsor something that's not at all related to art and is in no way related to any kind of content that I make, it means they don't believe enough in their product to sell it outright, and they're trying to figure out who has the biggest subscriber audience to just show anyone. They're casting the widest net possible. If an art supply company, if a marker supply company, a art like teaching course, even like an animation course or something were trying to ask me to sponsor them, I would understand marginally more because they are the audience of the people that watch me. But I think anything else, it becomes dubious at best. I wish sponsors would reach out to content creators who have something to do with that content. Exactly, and that's why I'm saying, if someone reaches out to me and their product has nothing to do with any of the content or like videos that I make, I instantly am a little sus. Whew. Unless I've like genuinely talked about it on stream, which has never happened. But it's also because I don't really talk about products on stream. I don't know. I don't suck corporate boot. Thank you for your reply. Of course, Pink. I always say perchance. Yeah. I do sometimes talk like I am a, like, 1600s Protestant farmer with my beautiful wife and 7 children who are all dying of the plague. Hey, Chad, I got here a little late. How are we? We're good. I'm doing arm studies right now. What I'm doing is I did a version where I drew over top the arm, and now I'm doing one where I am drawing it from eyeball, and it's a little harder, but I'm getting there. It says coming soon on Steam, so maybe at some... Oh, our Dirge does? Oh, that's awesome. I know he's been working on that, but I didn't know. Or One Shot's creator. Oh, I guess I am mutuals with the One Shot creator. I always forget that. I also actually, Night Margin has another game coming out. I'm very excited for that. They recently just fully funded it. Added to my list directly from Critter? Yeah. I like sharing my friends' projects. Hold on, let me grab my friend's music who's a vocaloid composer. Like I said, I can't share who it is because they're shy, but I can at least say, my friend made this. You should listen to it. I think I drew the hand too small. Hold on, I actually drew the hand, like, super wrong. Yeah, same. Night Margin's newer game looks really nice. Oh, I'm so excited for it. I remember playing One Shot when it was in beta, back when it was in the RPG Maker contest, and that was actually, that wasn't my first impression of Night Margin. My first impression of Night Margin was their .flow fan art, and then because I was following them for their .flow art, I saw their game right when it came out, and I thought that was cool. Hold on. Here it is. Everyone, go check out my friend's Vocaloid music. It's awesome. I played this as the opening song for one of our streams, but it's still a good Vocaloid song. And it's by Taito. I feel like any Taito music gets my love, because I love that girl. Hi, Fourleaf. How was your day? Oh, you know what? I never finished my story. Okay, wait. So I went to urgent care this morning. And I have had a cough for 2 weeks. They checked it out. Luckily, no fluid in my lungs. I am not dying. But they did put me on an antibiotic to be safe since it's been a while. And cough medicine. After that, we went to go pick it up. Walked around the Five Below for a bit because there was one right next to where I needed to get my medication from. God, what did we get for... Oh, I got you... Remember how I said Forrest got his Mega Bricks model kit stolen, or his Mini Bricks model kit stolen from our porch? Well, I got him a new one. So he has retrieved his model kits again. My guy is not model kitless. I love this song. What? Yeah. But got Forrest some new model kits. We went back home, found out our water was shut off because they were doing plumbing work in our building. So we had to go back out again, because we all needed to go to the bathroom, couldn't go to the bathroom because he couldn't flush the toilet. So then we went and we got some fresh produce because there's a farm nearby, and it was really cool. That was my day. What do you have? I don't actually know. I found out it's not COVID or the flu because we tested for both of those pretty early on. Also, I'm still drawing this hand wrong. But it's not COVID or the flu, thankfully. But we don't know what it is. It could just be the common cold. Could be mystery illness. Regardless, the cough for that long is kind of concerning, and they want to make sure that it's not bacterial. So they put me on a antibiotic, so we should be okay. Nintendo used to make things similar to Legos. Actually, I think they do make Pokemon ones still. I see them at like the Giant all the time. Also, did daylight savings end start over the US or something? Your streams are 1 hour earlier for me now? No. I actually just moved them 1 hour earlier, Lemmy. Forrest works anywhere from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning, and because I love that guy and I would like to see him before he goes to sleep, I just moved my stream earlier. No, you're not going insane. I literally just wanted to make sure that it was easier for him to get to bed for work because I love him. Oh, arm studies. I was doing some early this month. Yeah, they kicked my ass, but it's worth it. It's necessary. Wait, hold on. That is not as rounded as I drew it. It's actually more beveled in the center. God, this is...
Hey, Snoopy.
A Snoopy?
Hey, Snoopy.
Where's a Snoopy?
I'm building.
Hmm?
I'm building.
Clothing?
I'm building.
Oh, I forgot you had a Snoopy model kit. Wait, I'm so excited. Asking again because I think it got buried. Do you have any frequent 3D programs for references? Actually, no, I do not. I get very motion sick in 3D programs, which is kind of embarrassing to admit considering that's what my degree was in, but that's why I don't have a job in it, because I get very motion sick in 3D space. Okay, that is much better than whatever the hell I had going on at first. Although I think... Oh, I had made this rounded, but actually this is more of a straightaway. That's probably part of the reason it looked a little wonky. The Blender Cube Nightmares. See, it wasn't even Blender, it was Maya. I worked in Autodesk Maya, and I had cube nightmares while I was in school. Like, literally, nightmares where I was spinning a cube in a giant, open, cloudless blue sky, and it felt like falling, which was the worst part. Like, you ever have falling dreams? Imagine that where you're spinning a 3D camera around a gray cube. A gray, featureless cube, and you can't feel your body, you can just only feel that you're falling. I had that as a reoccurring nightmare. Any tips for drawing furries? Mary, if you wait till next week, I think I'm gonna do another furry demonstration night where I show how to draw furry characters' heads. Because I really enjoy doing those. You can't make this shit up. I'm having to study images of furries kissing because of the Yowie college project that'll account for like all of my grade. That's fascinating. It's kind of beautiful though. Oh, speaking of farce, that reminds me, I got a Monstera Deliciosa a few weeks ago. I need to water it. We don't have a Monstera yet. You have the little one.
I have a Monstera Peru.
Mm-hmm.
I need to stake up so that way it grows upwards.
And that's the one that doesn't have like the notches in the leaf.
Yeah, I don't know if the Peru will get notches or not.
I don't think it will. Will you do mice heads? Oh yeah, I totally will do mice heads. Actually, what if I did small rodents next week? Because I did big cats. I never finished the big cats, so I probably should do another night of big cats, but like, what if I was bad? What if I was bad and did rodents first? Because I love rodents. Rodents and small mammals. Alright. The other thing is tomorrow night, I'm doing furry name badges again, and I did pick the person I'm gonna do for the giveaway. What I did is on Blue Sky, I asked people to post or share references of their fursonas, and I would pick someone's reference. I'm not gonna spoil who, but you do know them because they're someone from chat. So I'm excited. Will this be made into a shortened video for YouTube? This no, because this I'm just studying. I'm not teaching anything tonight. I will post this VOD if anyone wants me to do that, although I don't know if anyone wants to see me suffer for a VOD, but I'm always surprised by what people want to see saved, so... I had similar nightmares with the cube, but kind of reversed, where it's a wave pulling my out and up, but it doesn't stop. Oh my god. Oh wait, I just realized I wrote Ardirge at the top. I can erase that now. Bunny, please? Oh, I actually did a bunny. Soba, hold on. I have a treat for you. Any tips if I want to start commissions being a minor? I want to start commissions. Forrest, check me on this. You can't have a PayPal if you're a minor, can you?
I do not think so.
Because I did, but I don't know if that was a rule when I was younger. So here's my advice to you. It would be wise to do two things before you even start accepting commissions from other artists. One, you need to have some kind of bank account or somewhere to store your money. And two, you need to be able to set up a PayPal with a parent, guardian, or trusted adult that you know will not tamper with that money. If you can't do either of those things, I'm going to be completely honest, until you're an adult, it's just better to draw for fun. Or you could do art trades, but until you can find a way to reliably get payment for your work, it doesn't really make sense to accept commissions that you can't accept payment for. Oh, welcome in, Cycrum. I almost said your name is Crygrum. You can get a sponsored Cash App as a minor. Oh, I didn't realize that. Careful with Cash App. I think that Cash App shows more of your information, but I may be wrong. Just check it. I don't know if it shows your phone number. Also, because this was to Soba in the chat. In this video that I just sent, it's on my VODs channel. I go over how to draw rabbit heads, hare heads, crow heads, alligators, and stoat. And frogs. That's so cute. Wait, and you can put it between books on your bookshelf. Wait, can I take a picture to show everybody? Sorry, I'm going to make Critter go away for just a second, but it's because I want to show you what my boyfriend just built. How are we doing? I was working on an emote for my own channel, but as an art noob, it's been tough. I understand, and I'm sure that you've got this. We are doing well. I'm doing arm studies, so you're not the only one that's getting beat up by art today. Oh my god, I have a knot in my headphones. Anyway, this is Far's Snoopy model. I think it's very cute. And don't use PayPal as a bank, please, please, please. PayPal is good for transferring money, not holding it. There are so many things that can go wrong. My mom's gonna organize the money? Okay, so Pepitas, the next thing that I would say to you is make a solid portfolio of work. Measure and time how long it takes you to do the pieces that you plan to sell as commissions. Plan out what pieces you're gonna sell as commissions. Don't just be like, here, you can commission me for anything in any of my art pieces. I would suggest starting with something simple like headshots and full bodies. And then after that, the best places I would say to advertise are social medias like Blue Sky and Instagram, but if not there, I've seen people have success on TikTok, depending on what your prices are. People can be mean, though, so if you ever start catching someone being rude to you, there's no shame in leaving.
You also gotta think that some people, if they know you're a kid, which you should disclose,
yes,
they're not gonna want to commission you.
Yeah.
And that's just a reality because some adults don't want to interact with minors on the internet.
I mean, and rightfully so, because
or vice versa.
Yeah.
Like maybe you don't want to interact with with adults as a minor taking commissions. So you just got to keep that in mind.
Yeah. I think the one thing I'm noticing between the two, hold on, I'm going to trace the lines onto the traced version too. I suck at things, especially IRL things like feelings. I mean, that's okay. You have time to learn. It's not over until it's over. It's not over until your life is literally over. You're gonna get hired to do things you're already doing, so focus on stuff that you actually like to make. Exactly. That's the thing. Taking commissions to draw things... Loud for no reason. Taking commissions to draw things that interest you, while you might not get as many commissions in terms of volume, you will actually sustainably be able to do them for longer. And I'm saying this as someone who has experienced commission burnout like 9 different times over... So I started doing commissions when I was 13. I've been doing commissions for 14 years now. Like, without fail, without stop. There has not been a single year that's gone fully by where I didn't take a commission. I'm saying this as someone that's experienced, like, intense commission burnout. Please, please, please don't accept a commission if it's not something you want to draw. And I don't even mean just, like, you're not comfortable drawing it, like, if it's content that genuinely makes you feel uncomfortable or unsafe. I mean, like, you look at it and you're like, I guess I could draw that character. I guess I do want the money. If you are starting to, like, bargain with yourself that maybe you could draw it and it wouldn't be so bad, it's not even worth it. It's really just not. It's gonna cost you, unless you are in really dire straits, it's gonna cost you your joy for art, so just take things that interest you, if you can. I understand it's not everyone's in the position where they can only take things they like. Hard Dead said, I finally opened commissions recently, and I was worried I wouldn't get any because my prices are sort of high, but I just needed some patience and I got one today. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, so long as you find your audience of people that are interested in what you make, you're gonna get it eventually. People love art, especially I feel like we're in a really good era and time period for that. Even with the economic state of the world right now, I found that people are still buying art, I think because it makes them happy, and because it feels better than buying from like a soulless corporation. So you'll be fine. You gotta save up for your spell slots. I love that way of saying that, actually. That's really cute. Love to do commissions someday, but I'm only 2 months into taking art seriously, so I don't think my art would be worth it at all. Hey, here's the thing. Don't think about it that way. Think about, you want to be proud and solid with your art before you start taking it as a job. You're in your training arc right now. You know, you wouldn't put a new employee at the front of house in a food service area when they just started out. You'd teach them how to wash the dishes and how to wash the dishes and how to run the plates. So your art's, it's not that your art's not worth anything, it's that you're still in your arc of learning how to do it in a way where you're proud of it. And we got to work on your confidence too, because that's the real killer. Not saying that you can't dislike things or think that you want to draw them better, but thinking of your art as not worth anything is what kills artists. Wakes up from my eternal slumber. Hi, what are we talking about? Commission work and stuff. Sorry if you've already answered this, but is doing commissions and streaming your full-time job? Oh, hold on. And if so, what advice would you have for people just starting out to get to that point themselves? Yes, art, generally speaking, has been my full-time job for about... So since 2022, so it's been 3 years now. I've been doing art as a side job, or as like a side hustle, for my entire life that I've been online, essentially. Like I said, I've always been a broke bitch. I've always worked multiple jobs, and I think actually the last 3 years are the only time in my life I haven't technically worked multiple jobs. But as a artist and freelancer online, you do end up wearing multiple hats anyway, so I guess I was kind of always built and used to this. Like, this is not a stranger to me. But my main sources of income as an artist are my online shop, because I sell prints, stickers, and other various things that I've made. I do character design adopts, and that's a huge one. Although that's a little bit more of a rogue agent, because I don't do them all the time. I only do them when I have an idea. And if you want to get into character design adopts, I would highly encourage doing that, where you design characters because you find it fun and interesting, not because you think it's going to make you a ton of money. Because, is that real, the photo, or like what I do? Also, where do you get your playlists? Lately, I haven't found many playlists on YouTube that don't feel repetitive and don't, at the same time, don't use AI. Honestly, my video feed recommendeds have been really good. I'm just going to send you the one that I have. I sometimes go down someone's like YouTube history of like all the videos they've posted, but for the most part, my YouTube algo has been recommending me good ones. I just know, how are you always so confident? I find myself being self-deprecating, because the world will kill you first, so don't do it for them. Self-deprecating yourself is not going to save you from other people deprecating you. All it's going to do is make them believe you. If you talk shit about yourself, other people are going to go, oh, this guy must be shit. They're not going to take the time to try and prove you wrong. So you got to be confident in yourself, because otherwise you don't have a fighting chance. Also, because I figured if I'm a failure and I suck and nobody likes me, then it's my life after all. No one cares how I use it, so I might as well use it the way that I want to. And after that, I stopped disliking myself as much. And fall in love. If you fall in love with someone and you genuinely really love them and you want to be a good person for them, you're going to realize after a while, constantly self-deprecating makes them feel bad, because you're basically going, no, the person you love is actually shit and sucks, and that doesn't feel good to hear. So I had to stop, because I really loved the guy who also loved me back, and I realized I wanted to be better for him. Also, I don't think I finished my comment. The main sources of income that I get ranked in terms of how effective they are, and this is going to look very different for different artists, so take this with knowing that this is what works for me, it might not work for you. Highest source of income is Ko-Fi. I make prints, I have a print club, and I write a webcomic. That's one of the biggest sources of income. Twitch is my second highest. Honestly, I think the beautiful part about Twitch is that this feeds into this one, because all of the stuff that I draw while on Twitch is typically stuff that is the content for my Ko-Fi. While I stream, I'm making stuff to put in my shop, so I'm kind of doing the same job at the same time. And then after that, I would say, like, freelancer adopts, because I'm going to put those in the same thing. Those are like the random one-off commissions, or like art pieces that sell individually. And again, this is another one where when I'm on Twitch and when I'm streaming, I'm also doing this work. The final one, I don't know. I think that YouTube is kind of like meh right now. YouTube I do more for fun. I don't really make money from YouTube. I think when it comes down to it at the end of the month, the money that I make on YouTube just goes back to paying the people that I use to edit YouTube videos. But to me, the emotional and spiritual fulfillment that I get out of YouTube is more meaningful than making money, which I guess is also why I wouldn't want to take sponsors unless I genuinely actually liked the thing and used it. Because I'm comfortable. Like I don't need sponsors. I'm okay. And I think you're gonna see me. The only time I would change that, like I said, is if it was an art supply, because I love testing art supplies. If the deal is test our art supplies and try them out and make a video, I'm gonna be like, okay, sorry guys, but I think that's fun. Also because I'll be honest, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If it's shit, I'm gonna say it's shit. Important note: it is hard to love yourself. There are entities with vested interest in your suffering. You have to find things to like about yourself. You have to put in the work to love yourself. It's hard, but it gets easier as you stick around and you are worth the effort. Not only that, if you can't love, you can at least be self-neutral. You can at least realize you don't suck. Most people don't suck, they're just kind of average, and that's fine. You're gonna fail, you're gonna mess up, but like, so does everybody else, dude. And I think if you're holding yourself to those standards, you're gonna hold other people to impossible standards too, and resent them without even realizing you're doing it. So the quicker you get over, like, needing to be perfect and needing others to be perfect, you'll become a lot more chill. Had to switch over here from Twitch because loading. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm glad to do both the YouTube and Twitch streams, honestly. It gives people options. But yeah, I would say that this setup is not going to work for everyone. I know one thing is that a lot of artists that I know, it depends what they do. So if you're someone that likes to draw cute little animals, doodles, things that would work well as washi tapes, stickers, t-shirts, you may have a lot more luck doing online shops or art markets. But here's the thing, the overhead cost of doing those things is going to be steeper, because even though you can sell multiple of the same thing, you have to have those things made or make them yourself, and you know, time is an effort and cost in itself. And taxes. You're going to pay completely different taxes than you pay on commission work, because on a commission, you are just going to pay your regular income tax because it's not a good. It's more of a service. And then on a good, like an individual item, you're going to pay a sales tax, and that's not the same thing. And I was going to say, if that's wrong and someone's going to be like, oh, you pay sales tax on commissions too. News to me. That is not how I was taught, but you may be right. Just that I know when I started doing merch, sorry, bang the desk. The tax that you pay is different. And the amount of tax you pay is different. So you getting into it with that knowledge, you have to decide, do you want to take riskier business moves by selling physical goods, or do you want to play it a little safer and do commissioned individual works that you know, and you know the work process of, and you know they'll sell? Hope everyone's having a good day. Would love to join the anatomy study, but I have a uni assignment to do. That's okay. You can always co-work and listen anyway. I am getting my ass beat, but I think I'm doing okay. I'm starting out by tracing the reference, like the photo reference, and then going back and drawing them again from eye. I don't know. It's kind of fun. I'm just doing it as a warm-up. At some point, I'm going to have to make like an actual proper muscle guide and break down the muscles in the arm as groups. But for now, this is something. Breakfast with a cup of coffee is relaxing. That's okay. I agree. Actually, that was the other thing today. Even though our water got shut off, and we had to go kind of putz around in the city before it came back on, we got to go to a farmer's market, and we picked up a bunch of really yummy fresh foods, but also fall stuff. We ended up getting pecan maple syrup that we're going to try and make coffee with by, like, you know, pulling an espresso shot over it. And we got apple cider donuts and chocolate-covered pumpkin pretzels, sour apple caramel popcorn, and then something else. Oh, and just, like, a bag of apples, too, because, like, you know, it was a farm. Do you have any manufacturer recommendations, like what you use to make prints and stickers? The only reason I can't recommend the ones that I use is because they're local, so I would dox myself. But what I can say is that your best bet, is to find someone in your area, or the nearest metropolitan center, which is basically the city center. Go with those, because not only is the shipping going to be cheaper, you will probably be able to delegate a much more affordable deal than, say, if you go with something like a Staples or, like, a really, really big corpo, sometimes you're gonna have to seek around and like try to find different places and ask for samples of their work, because not all printing companies are gonna have the best quality. But after you have looked around a bit, because I think it took like 4 or 5 different companies for us to like talk to and see the quality of their product before I was really like, okay, this is the one I want to go with. But after that, after you found your guy and you've really like locked and loaded with them, you'll be with them for life. Like, the print company we use are darlings. They're really helpful. They're really efficient. The stolen box of Marie prints aside, because that's not their fault. I think I mentioned it on stream yesterday. The Marie prints got stolen in 30 minutes. They delivered, my boyfriend got home from work 30 minutes later, and they were gone. And we even have photo evidence of that they delivered, too, so we know that they got stolen. Also, Toasty said, something that kind of helps to achieve self-neutrality is like, hey, if I'm not uniquely good and perfect and the universe's most favorite boy, then why the hell would I be uniquely horrible and the worst person ever? Exactly. The odds of those things are the same. I am 1 in 8 billion and counting on this planet. I'm literally just a guy. Not the protagonist of the world, and I am not the antagonist of the world. Statistically speaking, I am just a guy. And that's a really good thing to be. I agree. Also, Claus Morale said, sorry if this is really out of pocket and random, but how do you use the lasso fill but only in like a selected area? I was watching your video on More Lively Poses. There's a part where you foreshorten the piece and you give it an outline but only with the space. Ooh, okay. So, Claus, let me know if you're still in chat and you can hear me, because I was just backtracking a bit, but I'll show you, and I want to make sure that you're out of the ads first, because I just saw that you guys got hit with ads. I plan to have that be a segment in an upcoming video where I explain what that is. That's not actually a selection tool, that is that's a paint bucket enclosed area tool, but I'll show you exactly where that is and how to get that. I'm freshly out of the ads. I want to make sure that Claus, who asked the question, is, so I'm going to wait to see them chat. But I figured that's a good question to answer anyway, because a lot of people have asked similar questions. Is this stream going to be a VOD? Yeah. Oh, you know what? Snap. I forgot to republish the Home Safety Hotline VOD. I got to do that after stream. There was something else I asked you to remind me of, and now I'm blanking.
Why'd you ask me?
Because I don't remember. Wait. It was art related. I wanted to make a TikTok on what anti-aliasing is. Okay. I heard the very tail end about you saying where to get the enclosed area bucket tool. Okay. So, I'm going to draw a circle really quickly, right? Drawing a circle really quickly. If you go to the paint bucket tool in the sidebar, and I'm going to screenshot that and bring that onto the thing, because I realize that that's like cropped out right now. You're going to want to go to the paint bucket side of the tool, or the paint bucket side of the toolbar. What you're going to want to click is this guy here, and make sure that you have I don't think you need anything off. I think this is all you need to do, and then you need to be on the layer of the lines that you're filling in. Go to the enclose and fill, and then what you do is you draw a selection around the closed line area. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Draw a line around, or draw a selection around the closed line area, and then it's gonna fill. And what this is really useful for is if you were to draw something, like just, let's say you're trying to do a kind of sketchy comic, but you still want to have an area where you like show shadow. Let's say like the underarm or like around the pectoral to show some depth. What you can do is you can draw shadows as shapes, and then you can go back with that enclosed tool and fill it in. Anyway, that's all. Is this program Procreate? No, this is Clip Studio Paint, and I love Clip Studio Paint. That's so helpful, thank you. Of course. It's super easy. I have to thank my friend Dra, who showed me this tool, because genuinely the comic making process has gotten like 5 billion times faster with so many of the tools that Clip Studio Paint has. Oh, my nose is runny, and I'm sorry I'm sniffling. I'm trying so hard not to like snurfle. I know it's probably not fun to listen to. Sad, wet, pathetic sniffling. That's how I feel doing arm studies. I really enjoy Clip Studio Paint right now. Oh my god, it's like... I wish I could package this and send this back in the past to me that, like, struggled and cried and screamed and threw up with Photoshop. But, like, I think unless I had spent the 10 years using Photoshop and hating every second of it, I wouldn't appreciate Clip Studio Paint the way that I do now. So, like, it was worth it because it's made it more special in the long run. Also, sorry to continue harping on PayPal, but if you're outside the US and you don't use the app for more than a week, it locks your account for 2 months. Hello? What? Oh my god, dude, that's horrible. PayPal... I use PayPal because it's the best thing that I have to use for the business, but everything that I learn about PayPal makes it more evil to me. I recently did the switch from Procreate to CSP, and I love it. My art has improved so much. Oh, and the brushes and the art community. I don't want this to be like a glaze session for Clip Studio Paint. That's for later. But if you have been hesitating on the switch, my biggest pitches for you are these two things. One, the layout of the program and the tools are all completely customizable. You can choose what buttons you keep in your user interface or which ones you hide because you don't wind up using them a lot. And there's a way to save individual user interface states. So let's say multiple people use the same computer, or you are multiple people in one person. Shout out to my plural friends. You may have different user interface styles that you prefer, but you can save those as different states and switch between them based off of what you're drawing. The other thing, and my other part of the pitch, is if you are someone that likes experimenting with brushes and different tools, the Clip Studio Paint community is really active, and they develop a lot of tools for the program. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Dungeon Meshi was done in Clip Studio Paint. That's my final part of the pitch. These apples are bussin'! I'm so glad that you like the farm apples we got. Nova was mean to me today. I was eating my sandwich. Nova was mean to me. I was eating my sandwich. I had apple bacon grilled cheese sandwich. I was eating it, and I said, this sandwich is bussin'. And he said, did you just say this sandwich is busting? And I'm like, no! Who do you think I am? And I looked down at myself. I'm like, I mean, it's fair. But no, I know. And he's like, that's not how you say it. I was like, I know it's not how you say it. You think so lowly of me. I say this all tongue-in-cheek, though. We were giggling. It was really funny. And again, fair assumption, considering I am about as pink as shrimp. I understand how he could see that. Harpy said, I said it earlier, but I think it's silly enough to be highlighted. The way that taxes and PayPal work in my country is so fucked to the point where if I earned $5 on a commission, there's a potential outcome where I end up $150 in debt. Also, read Lemmy's previous message. Wait, I'm sorry. Hello? The debt? Also, Lemmy said, we're posting just because it got eaten by the other combo, my bad. I know you have your study workflow figured out, but I've been trying out something with studies I'd like to share if it interests you. Oh, I absolutely would. Please share. Sorry, chat is moving quickly tonight, but I like the speed. Just don't feel bad if you have to say something to the mods if you have to say something more than once. I'm drawing on CSP while watching and can confirm it's amazing. I originally bought it because of you talking about it, so continue. Cheers, I'll drink coconut juice to that, bro. Like, I think that's what it means. I mean, it's true. Bussin' does mean busting, but, like, I'm trying to think of an example of, like, another...
You're digging yourself further into the hole.
Well, no, like, there's a lot of words where when they're shortened, they are one thing, but the... Okay, it's like yat. Like, yat means goddamn. Because it's supposed to be like, yat damn. But, like, people will just use yat as a word. Does that make sense?
Use it as a noun.
Okay, using it as a noun is... I'm not anti. I'm not against.
Using it as a noun.
I'm kind of anti using it as a noun. I think it's stupid.
That's not how it's supposed to be.
You're just supposed to say like goddamn, like it's a night, like I don't know. Busting it down respectful style. That's not what yacht means. No, I know. I don't think that's what yacht means. No, yacht means like goddamn. Like it's literally short for goddamn. But yacht as a butt no. Okay, so here. No one knows the lore! Gyat does not mean ass. Gyat does not mean ass. Okay, this is how it started. I'm telling you because I looked this up, because anytime people start saying a word, I want to know how it started. Gyat started by saying goddamn, and people said gyat at an ass because they were like, goddamn, that's a good ass. That's what gyat means. It doesn't mean ass. People started saying gyat when they saw an ass, and then they started saying that's a gyat. That's not what that means. And so then people started using it as a noun, and I was like going crazy. Thank you. I'm being defended. Please. I promise. If I hear people using AAVE and I don't know what it means, I look it up because I want to understand. I like learning the origins of words, for one, and two, I don't want to use it wrong. I'm not exactly. Oh my god, it's like when people started saying ah, like AA. I was crying because I saw someone say big phone, and I'm sitting here like, big ass phone? What the fuck are we talking about? You're just saying words, and you're not using them properly, and it's driving me crazy. People who say gyat ass are falling for misused AAV. It's a reaction to a good ass. Exactly! If you say she's got a gyat, you don't understand. Please, I'm begging you guys to learn what words means, especially if it's AAVE that TikTok appropriates and changes. I know! Oh my god. Anyway, like I said, I love learning, like...
Sorry, do you remember that picture that I drew?
Yes. Wait, what?
That picture that I drew? Where I just drew somebody standing, and then I drew shorts and wrote A-H-H on the board.
No, I didn't remember that.
Like those shorts from the Monkey brand that
Please.
used to have like words on the butt.
Please, I'm sweating. Oh my god. Okay, I'm fine. Anyway, sorry. This white they shocks the chat by speaking perfect AAVE. I grew up in Philadelphia. I grew up with predominantly a mixed friend group. I'm sorry. You're never gonna catch me misusing AAVE. And if I do, I want you to fucking tell me, because I don't want to look like a moron. I'm like, you don't get it. It is that deep for me. It is that, I am that invested. Also, sorry. Lilac said in chat, I get you, Critter. As a black person on the internet seeing people misuse AVE, it makes me feel like I'm losing it. Or when it gets called Gen Z lingo. And I'm like, it's maybe... okay, sometimes it is like AVE that has been coined or created by younger Gen Zers. But like, again, it's still coined by black Gen Zers. But the one that really gets me is where I hear people calling something Gen Z lingo that I've been hearing my friends say for like 20 fucking years. And I'm sitting here like, no the hell it isn't. Most of Gen Z slang is misappropriated from black ballroom culture. I know! Sorry, I just sounded like a Muppet there. I sounded like Gonzo for a second. I know! Very passionate AAVE ballroom. Actually, Gonzo would be passionate about black ballroom culture. If any of the Muppets were like really invested in ballroom culture, it would be Gonzo. Today, Critter's studying an atom? Why? Okay, that's funny. When motherfuckers call AAVE brain rot, I want to start ripping things out. Oh my god. And like, okay, I've talked about this before too. One of the things that annoys me about it getting memeified is that things that I've heard people saying for years and language that I've used for years gets so overused and misused to the point where people start referring to it like it is a dead meme. And I'm sitting here like, someone else's speech patterns are not a dead meme. You just don't know how to speak without saying the same words every 3 fucking sentences. Learn some other words. Today, Critter is studying AAVE autonomy. Fuck, I can't speak. What about pop culture isn't appropriated from black ballroom culture? You would be really surprised. There's not much. And the more you look into it, it's like music. The more of a music fan you become, the more passionate about like learning black history and really just like civil rights and the history of different like sub-communities you become, because you realize how much of it has been stripped away from these cultures and just like completely bastardized to hell and back. Now, the good thing is by learning about it, you can start to look for those artists that have been lost to time, or even the modern artists that are part of those subcultures and cultures, to support them. But you also do feel like the guy with the red Solo cup in the corner of the room that's like, nobody knows this music is literally just like historically appropriated from blah 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 culture. So you start feeling kind of crazy. I don't know if you're familiar with Rodney from Philly, but I saw someone say he talks so Gen Z. No, he's an old black queen from Philly. He talked like that before you were born. I know! Now, I've seen some things from Rodney, but yes, if I heard someone say that, I think I'd go crazy. I forgot whatever I said, but the other week I said something in I said something other week, and my white friend said I was behind the times with Gen Z slang, and I almost started barking. I am at my limit. We'll be free. Someday we will be released from all of this, I swear to God, and until then I won't fucking shut up about it. I will be the annoying friend. This is like when people say, oh, I'm not woke enough for this. I'm like, that's too fucking bad. I am. I've been. Catch up. Alright, hold on. I'm getting... This shoulder has like a little bit of muscle here that's going to cause a divot in the arm. Also, can I say, this is my friend that's too woke moment that is going to piss people off. But even in this moment, I really dislike how the term woke has become kind of like a joke, where because it was taken by conservative speakers and used to just describe anything that's liberal that they don't like, it's become now a joke among leftist circles to say something is too woke. And it always just meant to be aware of your surroundings and stay safe because of the historic abuse that black people face by the system at large and the people in power. And so turning that into a joke does kind of piss me off, but... Sorry, I'm crazy. Can't we let these guys rest for like a month at least? No, exactly! Only people who use AAVE will have eternal life. I mean, it's more like, I just wish that people would check the meanings of words they say. On a completely opposite note, because, okay, on one hand, it's so that you don't appropriate things that you don't know what you're saying and you're not misusing them. On the other note, it's so that you don't end up using fucking chanter language. When I hear people say... When I hear people talk about things like, reject modernity, embrace tradition, defend the motherland, I'm so blank-pilled, I'm sitting here like, do you guys know... Sorry, that was a biker outside. I'm like, do you guys know what you're saying? Like, do you have any idea of the origins of the language that you're using? It's okay, don't worry, Soba. Sorry, I keep drinking my coconut juice. I'm very passionate. But no, I was just thinking, oh my god, and the word lolcow. Now here's the thing, I think describing lolcow culture is useful, because I think it's good to recognize when someone is becoming a lolcow / negative, so that you can stop essentially just like publicly harassing this person. I think discussing what lolcowism is in a factual lens, but a factual negative lens, is important, but I don't like the idea of people mass engaging in and finding entertainment in lolcow culture again. I really wanted to leave this part of the internet behind, but...
I think you missed the highlighted message.
Oh wait, hold on, let me scroll back up. I'm sorry, Soup, hold on, let me go back up.
Do you think I made progress on my corner?
I do, I think it looks beautiful.
Okay, then I might call it.
Supermoto said, "Meowdy everyone. Nothing's happened today that's noteworthy. However, I went feral a while back and found so many good images for my Pinterest board. Rubbing hands together like a mischievous little fly. Oh my god, Soup, I was just on Pinterest today. I don't know what they've been feeding my Pinterest algorithm, but she has been giving me beautiful images. Both Pinterest and my Tumblr. I'm no longer seeing discourse on my Tumblr. I'm only seeing beautiful photography and art, and I love it. It's been so peaceful lately. Maybe it has something to do with my 2,000 blocked users and tags, but you know, who's to say? Also, to be fair, blocked on my personal. I don't really block on my main account that much. Fun fact, the AAVE usage of dig, as in dig it, is derived from is derived from Irish, from the Irish for "Do you understand?" Andigantu, pronounced like on digantu. That's really cool, Kai Master. I didn't know that. Actually, the thing that I did know, and I always thought this was really neat, I've talked about it before. My family has like a family history because I think I've talked about how like our family immigrated from Ireland, and pretty much all of my family is like very Irish. So we know a lot of our relatives and like where we came from because they were pretty good with bookkeeping and keeping the paperwork of where people were emigrating from, where they stayed. We've pretty much always been based in Philly. Like, genuinely, I don't think any of my family has left this area for like 50 years. Until recently. That's the only sad part. But I was looking back through the family Bible and like through the family history, and one of the things that I thought was really neat is that a lot of my relatives were involved in civil rights protests, so they have their police records and their mugshot photos in this family Bible because they would participate in sit-ins. One of my great grandfathers actually threw a brick through a taxi cab window at one point, and that was something that the person who was writing the family history was very proud of and mentioned no less than 3 times, which I thought was very cool. How to design a character video when? I lovingly, I will probably never do it because character design is something that is very personal to people, and I fear they will kill me. It would be like teaching someone how to style a wardrobe. It is personal. I think it's something that you need to learn and decide yourself. And also, I love myself more than trying to experience the YouTube comments that would become of that. Sorry, my nose is stiffly. Does anyone have input on if I should get the Switch 2 for Christmas, or basically as my only gift, or get other gifts like plushies and candy beads? I'm gonna be honest. You should get the plushies, candy beads, and do you have any of the old Pokemon games? Like, do you have anything for the DS or for the 3DS? Because I'm going to tell you, you will get those games for cheaper, and you will get more out of them. Wait till the Switch 2 has a revamp and a discount, and play the games when they're on discount. I got Sword and Shield for $15 off for both the games. I got both of them with $15 off because I waited like 2 years to get them. It's worth it. It's honestly, you don't need to be playing stuff that comes out right away. The Switch 2 is stupid expensive. It would be much better to get a few small gifts that you really enjoy and you can use. And I know you might get a little bit of FOMO for the time being, but I will speak from experience. I always get games and consoles a few years after they've been out, and I've never really had any disappointment. The only games I get right away are indie games, like Silksong. I have heard good things about the Steam Deck, though. Everyone that I know that has the Steam Deck has liked the Steam Deck. So, I can't speak for that. I don't have it myself, but I haven't heard anything bad.
Steam Deck?
Yeah.
Everybody I've heard who has one really likes it.
Yeah.
I want one, but I don't need one.
I mean, but we could save for it.
But I don't need one.
Actually, this is a good thing for me to know.
No!
Also, the Switch 2 doesn't even have a cute color schemes yet. Exactly! It's just gonna be boring and gray. I hope the Switch 2 gets discounted, but considering how it sells like hotcakes, it'll get the 3DS treatment. Also, the base Switch rose in price because why? I don't know. I don't know why. Thoughts on tracing as practice? I do it. I'm not even kidding. I think that people have a really negative reaction to tracing because they view it as like disingenuous or not a way to learn art. But I think actually when it comes to finding a photo reference and like learning the structure of the thing that you're trying to draw, I have had the most success with tracing over the photo and then trying to draw it while not tracing. I also do studies of other pieces. Sometimes I'll trace to see how they drew something and then I'll try redrawing it myself. But really, I think that the things that people are reacting to negatively when it comes to tracing are less the act of tracing itself and more tracing and pretending like you did it without tracing. So long as you're open and honest about the fact that you traced, I don't think that... If someone cares, I think they might be kind of cuckoo, and I think it will benefit you more. You also don't have to share your studies. Like, if you're worried about it and you're worried about someone reacting poorly to it, you literally do not have to post the studies you do. Alright, so thank you for the posture check and the hydrate. Let me actually like properly hydrate with water. Do you own any cute sweaters? So many. I love sweaters. I'm looking up plants. Why are you sending me jelly worms? Oh, like for searching up references? Yeah, I know that one. Late Everignon, started preparing for commissions. I'm preparing to start commissions for the first time, and I'm so nervous at making a TOS is scary. Sorry, did someone say plants? Babe, I literally read that message out loud because I saw plants, and my eyes like owned in on it for you. But also to the TOS question, it is scary, and one thing I can say is don't be scared to adjust it as you go, because I have had a TOS that has been wildly different over my years as a commission artist, and the way that it started when I began taking commissions is not even close to the way that it looks when I ended, or like where I am now. I'm back, my absolute diva. Welcome back to Goo. All that said, hell yeah, so far I'm referencing other people's to us, and I'm scared of making it too detailed, but that's also the point. Bullet points. Bullet points are your friend. Yes, people will stop reading your TOS if it's too detailed. Sometimes, though, I like to have a code at the end where it's like, and if you get to the end of your this TOS, to let me know by saying bananas or something like that in your commission message. You don't have to do that, but that is a way to at least make sure that people like read what you wrote. The form lines, or whatever you call them, with the forearm and upper arm are actually really interesting, especially with the top left photo. Oh, I know, I love them. I think they're really cool. Oh, by the way, really quick, I am going to read the highlighted messages from Jello, but let me share my reference board with you guys again. I have a whole Pinterest board that is literally like just my art references. It is broken up into sections by different topics. It's broken up into sections by whether the topic is drawn or a photograph. So like I specifically have a arms photograph section and an arms drawn section. But please check that out, especially if you're wondering where I get my references. Every single time I use a reference on stream, it's in this board. I almost never find or use references that aren't on this board, and when I use references that aren't on this board originally, I post them to the board. Also, Jello said, sorry this is a little off topic, but I wanted to ask about if you sell commercial rights with your adoptables. Yes, I do. I've seen some other artists say that their TOS, that they reserve commercial rights to the design after someone purchases the design. No, I sell commercial rights, especially with the price that my adoptables have gone for. Not only because I want people to use my adopts in projects. I don't want it to just be a pretty dolly that kind of sits and collects dust. And trust me, I have pretty dolly OCs that sit and collect dust and I draw like once every 3 years. There's no shame in that, but for me personally, when I make my designs, I really like to know that they're going towards something, because I love seeing the creativity that like my artwork can lead people to do. So when I sell adopts, I sell full commercial rights, I sell individual art rights, so like the actual reference of the character. They could do whatever they wanted to with that, so long as it's not like hate speech. They could print it, they could make stickers of it, they could put it on their website, I don't care, that's theirs now. And the other thing that I do with a lot of people that get my adopts is they give them commission priority. So if there's ever an instance where they need assets from me of that character, I will carve a commission slot out for them. And typically, too, this is not a guarantee, but I try to carve a commission slot out for them so that they can return and have me draw the character if they would like me to. So if you have an adopt for me, that is something that's like an open book. If you want me to draw that character again, pretty much all of the adopts that I've made are very dear to me, and so I would be happy to get the chance to draw them again. Alright, also, breaking TOS is iffy. If it's a minor, just blacklist them, but if they, like, profit resell your art without permission, I think putting out a PSA can be fair in that instance, I would agree. Are you okay with people editing your art if they redesign the character? Yeah, that's theirs now. I've actually had people ask expressly if they could change elements of the character design. I was like, yeah, dude, I use this as a launch board for yourself. Like, this is... Do you have any adopts available for purchase right now? I don't, because the last one that we did just sold. Actually, can I show off? The upper arm is way more cylindrical, and while the forearm is similar, it's actually flat on the face of the palm. Just pick that up. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Zero, I'm so glad that you're enjoying the study. I know I'm yapping about other things, but like, this is my drills part of things, so I'm glad that you're still gaining from it, even though my yaps are a bit off topic. This was the design that I sold recently. Can commissions be fully private? Is that normal? Like the artist never shares the original? Do you mean like if you were someone that's gotten an adopt from me and then wants to come back and have me draw the character, can the commission be private? I think my only part of TOS is that I ask that I be allowed to work on it during stream. I don't have to post it though. I just like having the ability to stream my work because having you guys here as a body double will mean I get the commission done. If that was your question though, if it wasn't, I can always try to answer. Soda Float Salute. So, I meant in general, like, if someone wanted to pay someone to make something just for their use, some artists allow that, yeah. I've done commissions for people before that they ask I keep completely private. I don't do that anymore because, like I said, having stream assures me that I'll get the piece done. But it is very normal, and I know many people that will allow for commissions to stay completely private. I want to say stay updated on when you have an adopt that's available. Just curious. Oh, yeah, I post all of my adopts to my toy house, which I can link really quick. And you'll see those as soon as they go out if you follow me there. And usually I post my adopts to social media as soon as they're up. But Toy House is the first place they get posted, and they usually get shown in stream. There we go. I've never had a soda float. Are they good? Yes, I would highly recommend you do it with blue soda, whether that be blue raspberry, freezy, or a blue lemonade. Like a fizzy blue lemonade, because I think that those are the best flavors. I'm not a huge fan of the green melon soda. I feel bad, but because I know that those are very cute, but I just don't like the flavor. Also, how do you make a soda float? It's super easy. I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a soda in your fridge and you have any flavor of ice cream, although I would recommend using vanilla, what you do, you fill up the glass halfway full with ice and whatever soda that you prefer. You don't have to use ice. I personally like using ice. And then you take a scoop of ice cream and you put it on the top. And then maybe sprinkles in a cherry. That's it. That's all that it takes. You could put drizzle on it, like some kind of like syrup or sauce. That's also okay. Wait, Critter's actual Toy House. Did I just link the Toy House front page? Am I stupid? Okay, so I may be dumb. Thank you, baby. Sorry, I got so excited by teaching someone how to make a soda float. Oh my god, my nose. I did also say, can you take inspiration from my designs? Yes, but I'm going to give you a word of caution. I recognize that not everyone has a very clear definition of what inspiration is. If you just like the idea of basing adopts or designs off of food, animals, fashion sense, perfectly fine. I did not invent that idea. I didn't even fully invent the idea of like a lot of the like combinations that I've made. Like I'm certainly not the first person that's ever combined like white peach and cute pink clothing. But I will say, try to not make it look like, can I copy your homework but just change it a little? I'm not going to come after you. I don't give a shit. I'm not that type of person. But I would say for your sake as an artist, it would benefit you to try and be a little more attuned to your own interests and design sensibilities than it would be to just rip something off cuff from what I've done. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to. Like I said, I really don't give a shit. I'm not going to come after you. I don't want to do that. I don't want anyone else to do that. Just, it's a courtesy thing. You are more than welcome, though, to see the designs that I've made and take visual inspiration, because that happens with all art, forever. That's just simply existing on a planet with other human beings, my love. That sounds sickeningly sweet, which is right up my alley. It's definitely something I can only have every so often. You'll notice... Hey guys, I clicked a random link to get here. Is this person gay, alterhuman, a furry, or hate cops? I'm trying to see if this is my scene. Satan Ghost, you could not have clicked a more perfect random stream. I think I just hit every single thing that you listed on that, you said on that list. Also, I love your username. and I'm getting my ass beat by this bicep. Is this person describes Critter perfectly? Welcome to Four-Leaf Island. You literally hit every branch on the tree on the way down as you fell. This chat makes me wish it was still summer. Hey, it's not summer, and that's okay. Get apple cider instead. You can also do a warm apple cider with a apple fritter. I personally today had a apple cheese bacon sandwich, which had little slices of sweet apple, cheddar cheese, and bacon on it, and then I had a pumpkin cheesecake latte, and it was delicious. You can always eat seasonal food. And just because one season ends, there's going to be another one next year. It'll be alright. Apple cider donuts. I really want to draw Critter with apple cider donuts. Do you have a preferred kind of apple? Yes, I love Granny Smith. I know I'm crazy. I know I'm insane for it. And like every time I tell people, they're like, ugh. Or if they're also a Granny Smith fan, they're like, oh, finally, I'm with my people. But I love Granny Smith apples and they'll never make me hate her. And I think it's funny. Yeah, Forrest likes Honeycrisp. Forrest likes really sweet apples. I think we match well in that way. I always like sour sweet stuff and he likes super sweet stuff. I'm sour sweet or bittersweet. Or vinegar. That's my other one. I like pickles. I like mustard. Critter, you are making me hungry. I'm gonna get everybody to eat here. I'm gonna make... Oh yeah, we also got caramel dip. I forgot about it. Hey, Forrest. How much do you love me? How much do you love me? Do you, want to try out the pecan sauce for a coffee that we got and we could share it? I can't... If I blink really fast, it just looks like Critter is dying. I live for oranges. I really like the little oranges. I've heard... They're sometimes called clementines, sometimes called mandarin oranges. I think they might be the same thing. But I like those guys. Big oranges are good too. But I think the little ones are my favorite. Sorry, chat. I love sweet apples. Sour apples are gross. Cries! It's okay. It's okay. I fully understand, because my boyfriend's the same. He's tried to take a bite of my Granny Smith apples before. He's like, ugh. And I'm like, it's good. It's yummy. And he's like, how do you eat this? Oh, wait. I think I'm drawing... I'm looking at this arm when I'm drawing this arm. Well, I'll explain some things. So wait, Critter, are you also in the non-human identity camp? Yeah, I am. I've been a Therian since I was, like, 11. Technically, I think I've been a Therian since I was longer, like, for longer than that, but I didn't know the word Therian until I was 11. It's honestly why it's been really cool to see Therianism have such a boom and have so many more people know about it, because I've been here. I've been here the whole time. I've been quiet about it because I am fully in recognition that saying, hey, I have a really deep connection with an animal to a degree where I feel like I was one in a previous life, or I feel like I could be one in this one. But it's nice to see it get positive attention instead of just be like the next YouTube cringe comp bait, which is what it was when I was younger, unfortunately. Did you make the drawing on a person sitting on a wall, hands together in lap, held to... No, I didn't make that drawing. I know what you're talking about, though. Shakes hands and dog girl, we're shaking hands. I've never heard the term before, but never looked into it deeply. It's interesting. What's really funny is I have friends that are super, like, into animals and, like, super autistic about animals like me, who, after reading about and learning about Therianism, was like, I'm not Therian, but I fuck with y'all. And I'm like, that's fair. But I actually think it makes sense, like, knowing Lemmy, because she also loves animals, but she includes her love of the human species in that. I mean, as do I, but I think we just processed our trauma a little differently in how it came out into identity. I'm so fed up with cringe comps. Like, somebody will show me something cringe and it's literally just usually a teenage girl just having fun. No, I know. Also, like, I'm sorry. It's embarrassing to watch those. Are you telling me that your way of having fun is making fun of people? That's so lame. Like, you genuinely don't have any other hobbies. Your hobbies are being mean. It shows such a weakness of character and, like, just an inability to have any sort of engaging thing to do or say. Ick. Immediate ick, immediate, oh, I don't want anything to do with you. Chad is not ready for my peak apple take. Honeycrisp heavily sprinkled with sea salt. No, actually, I fuck with it. I see that. I think that's actually how I would like Honeycrisp. Because I think it's too sweet for me alone. I don't think I'm a Therian. I'm more of those anime cat boys than spiritually animal. That's perfectly fine, too. I'm curious about that now, though. That sounds good. I'm sorry, but when I hear Therian, I think of girls in animal masks walking around on all fours and barking at people. I mean, yeah, but, like, who give a fuck? So, were you never a child? Did you never do anything kind of, like, childish as a child? And also, I think the idea of just, like, wanting to get in touch with an animal that you feel a connection with and doing that in ways that are understandable to you and make sense to you as a teenager, it's pretty typical. I think that maybe this is my crazy take. I think that those kids are not doing anything wrong, and I fuck with them, and I will defend them like my life fucking depends on it. It's them, the Dino Mask furries that people are mean as fuck to. You bully a Dino Mask kid in my chat, you're getting banned. Getting out of here. You're getting kicked. It's not even a discussion. I'm not mad at you either. Like, I think that your stance is just a product of the internet at large, because the internet does like to look for acceptable targets, but I would like to challenge that and say, what are those people doing wrong other than just doing something you personally wouldn't? They're having fun in a way that you don't. They're not hurting anyone. They're not doing anything that's disrupting. If they're doing it in public, I could see, like, out, like, in the middle of the street, I could see kind of being like, okay, this is not the time or place. But at a playground, in a park, it's not really doing anything wrong. They're just playing pretend. Something that children and humans, adults, kids otherwise, have been doing for all of millennia. And again, even if you don't personally believe in Therianism, it doesn't take away from the fact that functionally what they're doing is not really hurting anyone. I love when videos of kids doing those crazy-ass jumps goes out of its target audience, because even people that are out of the audience like, damn, okay, that's kind of cool. And do you know the muscle groups that it requires to do that shit? Like, sometimes I see there's these guys on TikTok and on other, like, video platforms that post their workouts where they're, like, they call them primal movement, and they basically, like, climb up trees barefoot with nothing on their hands, just crawling around on all floors in the woods. Now, I have to say, if I saw that in person, I probably would, my instant reaction would be to be a little scared, because they move really fucking fast. However, they are crazy impressive. Also, let me hide my tail so you can actually see what I'm drawing. Hold on. No, it's not caps, it's numlock, I always forget. Hello? Am I hitting the wrong button? Oh no, I'm just clicked out of it. Forehead? You know what? I'm just gonna move the drawing, it's fine. Sorry, I'm trying to hide my tails. Is it weird? Sure, maybe, by my standards, but is it hurting anyone? No, exactly. Just, I guess really, my take and my hope for your takeaway is be respectful of things that you don't understand. You don't have to get it. You don't even have to go there. But be kind. It's the least that you can do, and the world is a really unkind place these days. I would say if you can avoid being part of the unkindness, it's worth trying. So I want to make sure I didn't miss any highlights because the chat was moving. Hair there said, genuinely, I'm so jealous of the Dino Mask kids. It's so cool to see masks and fursuiting adjacent crafts be more accessible. It's so clever. Those and the paper mache masks, cool as fuck. Absolutely cool. I don't think I could identify as Therian, but I'd be lying if I didn't go, I'm literally just a dog sometimes. Exactly. And Yakety Lilac said, I just got out of bad purgatory, so this might not be relevant, but I think we should expose ourselves to people who are a little cringe. It's good for the ecosystem. I'm sub to some scary Therians and gotcha tubers and other cringe types of people, even though I'm not either of those, but it's fun to see other people post about stuff that's important to them. I also feel this way about, like, furry subcultures. There are parts of the furry fandom that I'm, like, not even close to, not even a single Hello Kitty roller skate in. But by being next to them and seeing the things that they are freakishly passionate about, it does make me go, yeah, they're not really doing anything wrong. It will make you go from like so reactionary, so easy to go, haha, can you believe this guy likes this? To just, I mean, who gives a fuck? They're not doing anything wrong. As long as you're not doing anything that's hurting anyone or evil, I genuinely don't think that there's anything to be concerned about. Also, not gonna lie, not even a Therian, but it's really nice connecting to animality just as a human, because we're literally animals too. It's like when I said on a previous stream that one of the fastest ways to get you out of neglecting yourself, if you're someone that struggles with self-care, is to ask yourself, is the way that you're treating yourself an appropriate way to treat an animal? And if the answer is no, you are animal abusing yourself. You need to stop animal abusing yourself. If you would not keep a goldfish in a dark, lightless tank with no stimulation, no activities, no plants to hide in, no toys, no water filter, if you wouldn't do that to a fish, and you're doing the equivalent of doing that to yourself as a human, gotta cut that shit out, my friend. People's opinions on Therians, furries, neopronouns, and polyamory is a good litmus test for how much of a bully you are. No, literally. Exactly. I feel the same way. Honestly, sometimes I think weird means not my taste, which should be normal. It can be. Let me say this. I think the trouble, and I do also agree, I think you should have the freedom to go, that's a little strange. Not up my alley, but not hurting anyone. The trouble is, we live in a very reactive time. And I unfortunately think that it also comes at the cost of being able to talk about things honestly that we like and dislike. And I've talked about this with Lemmy before, because both Lemmy and I have self-proclaimed and said, we can be haters sometimes. When we don't like something, we are personally, privately, going to tear into it a little bit. But it's because both of us are artists and we really like dissecting things that we've consumed. The problem is, a lot of times on social media, people don't know how to critique something without doing complete annihilation of its character. And that can be a show, a piece of art, a musician, a single song. I think it comes from the desire to moralize good art. And by that I mean, people really, really want there to be a good way and a bad way to both consume and make art. They want art that is universally morally good and bad, so that if you don't like something, you can be shamed into liking it, and if you do like something, you can be shamed out of liking it. I have theories on where this started, because I do think that I do genuinely think boycotts of series like Harry Potter by Rowling work. They get people's attention. It brings attention to her politics that she funds, by the way. Very, very importantly, Rowling funds anti-trans politics with her personal income. So I think that is a good use of boycotting or talking about the real-world effects a piece of fiction has. But I think the trouble is, people took that philosophy and went, if you like something that has anything even slightly disagreeable or slightly detestable about it, you are a bad person. And it's not the same. I do think we should be able to discuss the parts of media that have harmful effects, but at the same time, I think that the idea has been taken and run with, and it unfortunately has left very, very little room for conversation that isn't just, is this a perfect, infallible piece of media, or is this a piece of media that we need to kill everyone who likes? And so I am very careful about what I discuss on main and how I talk about things that I like or dislike, because if I even gently mention not enjoying something that I know is popular, people will be like, oh, so we're not allowed to like this thing anymore? And it's like, no, I didn't like it. That doesn't affect whether you like it at all. I'm not even saying you can't like it. I just said that's not... Oh, not to derail, but what are the bands for on the arm? So what they are is a way for you to see the way that the muscle and the flesh of the arm deforms as it comes closer to the viewer. For right now, I'm just outlining the form, but really quickly, if I were to draw, I believe what the muscle structure under the arm looks like is something like this, where the bone is kind of here, and the muscle is wrapping around it, and coming up into the wrist, and that's why you're seeing this little fold here that happens in the bend of the arm. This is so that if you don't know the muscular structure of the arm, you can see the way that muscle deforms the arm without knowing the muscular structure. However, at a later date, whether in private or on a stream, I do actually plan to draw a muscular diagram of the arm. I'm just not doing that tonight because that's a little more in-depth than I want to go for the first night studying the arm. Lilac said, it's the people-pleasing, major oversimplification. You made a post on it, I think. I really do. I did make a post on that. You're completely right. So what, I'm not allowed to twist everything you say onto something that offends me personally? If you ever wondered why I do more art than talk posts on social media these days, it's because I realized at a certain point, there is nothing that you can say that cannot be misunderstood, and in the interest of being someone that enjoys being not misunderstood constantly, I realized I didn't care that much about talking online. I would much rather just post art. But yeah, welcome in, Grey Wolf, and hello, Tangy Treat. I will say, I did not talk to any of my classmates simply because I was sort of that kid in a way. High test scores, but also someone with strange gross interests and poor communication skills. It was a cycle. No one talked to me. I wouldn't get improving communications. If no one talked to me, I wouldn't get improving communication skills. So yeah, I'm a furry NB who is finally happy. I'm from the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and I'm tired of blending into the background to get by. Yeah, I completely get that. Oh, I completely get that. Excuse me. Also, sorry too for the coughing. I hope that I answered the band's question about the arms, though. I like having these here to measure how the volume of the arm, like, morphs as the arm comes closer or farther away from you. The other thing is, I think Zero in the YouTube chat pointed out, the flat face of the arm here is shown by this band, where the area underneath the wrist and underneath the palm of the hand on the forearm, instead of being rounded, it actually kind of flattens out. Do you need an inhaler? No, I've had a cough the last 2 weeks. We actually went to urgent care earlier today for it, and I got on antibiotics and a cough medication, but I think that because I took it a few hours ago, I gotta take my next dose, but I'm waiting to do it before bed because it makes me sleepy. It's nice watching the stream while I draw Transform Ice OCs. Oh, it's awesome. Oh my god, I was saying on yesterday's stream, I think, I wish that I had written, like, a self-indulgent fandom comic when I was a kid, or, like, a younger artist. I still kind of regret never doing a Nuzlocke comic, because now I have a big boy job, and I need to, like, do art to make money. So if you are a teenager, if you're someone starting college and, you know, you have time, take my advice. Either write short comics, like one-shots and things for fun. They can be silly, they can be sappy, they can be self-indulgent. Write comics about your blurbos, like your fandom blurbos. Anything that gives you comic experience if you want to write comics at some point, whether it be a hobby or, like, you want to write a long web comic. Please do as many little ones as you can first. It's not to say I can't do them now, it just means I would be multitasking. I have all the seasonal shots planned out for us once Critter feels better. Oh, like, flu shot, COVID shot, yeah. Also, I think I saw Eric say, Critter, this is so random, but I adore how your VTuber looks when you look down. Thank you. Nuzlocke comic about low tide and his favorite flowers. That would be cute. You're a lot like me as a person who doesn't care about the negativity in humanity. Is very deep when it comes to his personal insights. I think we get along well. Well, you're welcome to stick around to stream. I appreciate it. And I do care about the negativity of humanity, I guess, but I also understand that it's, like, not all we are, and I would like to challenge it because I think it can change. There's some things that are going to be cyclical and return or go away, but I do think that we can always push for better, and that doesn't mean that the progress that we've made up until now is lost. Not taking any chances since I work in a cafe and I see a bunch of people daily. Oh no, I know. And then I go into that cafe to sit and work with you sometimes. I definitely need the shot. Yeah? Yeah, what about it? Close your mouth, boy. Why are you holding your mouth open? Okay, I was gonna say be mean to you for a second, but that was a really cute meow. But Harbor was just sitting here like, looking up at me like this. Like, why is your mouth hanging open? Close that. I think he's hungry. It is about dinner time, so that isn't his fault. Also, hold on, I saw a first-time chatter and I want to welcome you in. Welcome into Envious. I've been thinking about making my own comic just about my day and things that have happened, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Maybe I will soon, who knows? And here's the thing. Anything you start and try isn't a failed project. It is experience that will build towards whatever you do in the future. He's a mouth breather critter, leave him alone. It's kind of funny. This isn't super related, more of a shower thought, but sometimes I think about how people go support young artists, yet I rarely ever see people doing that. And I also wonder if it has to do with moral panic stuff around adults and kids interacting online. Anyway, OCD be damned, I will support cringy teens artists until I die. It is really sad to see it too. Like, I think the trouble is in favor of actually teaching proper internet safety and like having healthy relations where like people are like, hey, that person is interacting with you in a way that's kind of inappropriate. The adults that actually care to not be inappropriate with kids are just going, well, I simply won't ever interact with a child ever. And it's like, well, that's not really a solution either. Like, some people do want to have, like, teaching roles, or they want to make content so that kids have spaces online. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I don't know. I think about the same thing too, though. Cat amazed by opinions. Also, Ferret said, assuming you've literally never picked up a drawing tool in your life and just acquired a standalone art tablet with CSP, how do you start learning to draw from step 0? Like, what's the first step? So there's a few things, right? One of my biggest pieces of art advice to you is you want to try to balance your interest in art and so the things that you're passionate about drawing and you want to draw and are fun for you, and the actual applied skill of learning art. Think about it like your elementary school gym class, if you had one. You didn't learn to throw a ball or play a new sport every single gym class. There were going to be some gym classes where you did something fun, like you played tag, or you did some other fun game. Like, I mean, we played tag a lot, sorry, that's like my biggest, that's my biggest contribution. But so like, if you're doing art, one of the things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try to balance the things that inspire you and make art fun to draw, and the things that you need to learn as an artist. As for starting, especially because you're starting out on a project, or like on a tablet on CSP, and if you've never done digital art before, I would say the best place to start is to try doing line exercises, and it sounds goofy, but literally drawing like cubes and lines. Hello? Okay, they were just kitty ramming. Basically though, starting out with drawing cubes and lines. Yeah, sorry, they were kitty ramming behind me. Starting out by drawing cubes and lines is how you're going to get confidence in your line work and understanding form. I wouldn't say go much beyond that just yet. No, not an intruder. It's our cat's kitty ramming. Cubes are pain, but the thing is, if you can draw a cube with volume, you can draw a lot. That's it's literally the building blocks of art. One of the first things that you learn in an intro to drawing course, and I know because I was almost a TA for one, and I also took them a few times to get used to the course so that I knew how to teach them. One of the first things that you learn is how to draw cubes. There are two things that you learn in an intro to drawing class when you do traditional art or like studio art: cubes and fruit. Why? Cubes teach you volume with geometric shapes, and you can break down most shapes of the body or like forms of the body into cubes. And then the fruit or the vegetables or whatever it is, I think we did apples and pumpkins, is so that you can learn how to draw rounded, soft, fleshy shapes so that you can add skin and flesh on top of the cube structures that you draw. So that's the study material I would assign you if you've literally just started drawing. Lines, cubes, and maybe if you're feeling if you're feeling spicy, I would draw like an apple or a pumpkin. But what about spheres where you can see all sides at once? No, I actually would not draw spheres. If you want practice drawing circles, yes. But spheres are not going to give you the practice that and the line confidence that a cube or just doing line practice will do. But that's the practice side of things. The fun side of things, and my genuine recommendation, and it's going to sound silly, but it does work. Find a character that you are insanely mentally ill about, or some animal or something, and draw it obsessively. Literally find a way to, like the why is Jungkook driving the bus now, or something, the K-pop fiction post, where it's like, find a way to make your guy go into everything. It doesn't matter how goofy it is. If it inspires you to draw and it makes drawing fun, that's what you got to do. And by doing that, by doing things that are fun, you're going to stay motivated, but you're also going to learn through the practice of physically crafting art. And as your skills expand from your studies, you will be able to draw more new, exciting things with them that you were not previously able to draw. I finally got to read Like His Comet this week, and I loved it so much. The character designs and environments are so beautiful. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you. I'm really excited, too, because it returns in 8 days. It returns in 8 days. I have a Webtoons episode queued up, and then the new page uploads to Comic Fury and Tumblr. Here's spitting absolute facts. I salute you. Thank you. I just really love art, and I want to make it as fun of an experience as I possibly can for people. I think that, like, I just wanted to say I was watching your stream in the dark, but your goldfish analogy made me get up and get some food. Also, turn on a light. You can turn on ambient light. It doesn't have to be the overhead. Listen, if I know anything about my chat statistics, I know there are a lot of autistic people here, but I know that we don't like overhead lights, but some light's better than none. Get a soft light, get a warm light, anything. It will help with your seasonal depression, I promise. I lag so hard and not going on. We're just talking about art tips and how to get into artist. I have to get on the road to get home. I hope you have a nice time, and I'm giving everyone a big cookie. Thank you, and thank you for stopping in, Dapper. Me with my fairy lights above my bed, I am partial to a solid warm color lamp. I think that a warm color side table lamp or desk lamp is my friend for life. Maybe it's because I grew up with them, though. It's also fun to only do one character, because then you can track your progress with that guy. Oh my god, you have no idea. I know I've shown before, but like some of the earliest drawings of my fursona, not critter, I'm talking like my main animal fursona that's not my little beast for VTubing, look so different than the ones that I've drawn recently. And I also experiment a lot with my style, especially with my Sona, since it's not like a commission work or something I'm selling. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have my Tumblr linked. If you go to my FAQ, though, my Tumblr is like linked at the bottom of the page. No, I'm sorry, Soba. If you do ! FAQ, it'll take you there. But I have some of my old art of my fursona, and the way that guy looks early on versus the way that he looks now is astounding. It's the same person, but it's the same person 5 years on hormones. Hold on, I actually have to show this because it's funny. Speaking of Like His Comet, any advice on building a convincing solar punk or green technology-focused world? If anyone has advice, I'd love to know, because I sure as shit don't. I'm, like, doing the best that I can, but sometimes the best way to do something is to research and then pray. And I don't pray, but I do shoot my shot and try anyway. That's my advice. I genuinely don't know what I'm doing most of the time. If I have to write something, a lot of the time in the script, I'll come across like Leica fixes a lawnmower, and I pause to think of, do I need to show the audience how she fixes the lawnmower? And if the answer is yes, then I have to research how a lawnmower works and start asking people around. And also have other autistic friends. Serena's completely right. Actually, that's how Serena and I started talking, because I was talking about radio transmissions on Maine, and they were like, well, that's not how that works. And I was like, oh, well, this shows what I know. But after that, we started talking and became friends. So Be really autistic about a single topic, and maybe you'll help a comic writer in the future. Okay, so this was the first one. The first drawing of my fursona ever. Like, literally the first, sitting in my grandmother's basement when I was like 21, 22. This is the most recent one. These are hardly the same person anymore. You can see that this one is 22 and this one is 27. Yuan, you know what I'm talking about. You know which one I'm talking about. I'm gonna go because I gotta get some work done. This is super chill. Thank you, Nicarina, and thank you for stopping by. You were not exaggerating? No, and then, you know what's even funnier? I gotta show one that's from in between. So this most recent one, that's from 2025, right? Let's let's crack open 2023 and see what that looks like. Again, it's not the same creature. It's a completely, it might as well be a different beast entirely. So we have this one, which again, doesn't look anything like this. But also doesn't really look anything like this. And then that's 2022. Flash forward another year to 2024. Do you know what this thing looks like? Hold on. Pause for anticipation. It looks like this. Why are we looking at old art? I wanted to show that it's okay for your Sona to change and develop over time and that it's actually fun to watch. This is 2022 and this is 2023. Not even the same guy, not even remotely. You're more saturated? OMG, when you said 5 years on hormones, you weren't kidding, I know. Well, I was gonna say, this is when the year you start hormones. Mars tail spotted, where? Oh, because the tail's spiking up, yeah. This is the first year on hormones. This is you 3 years on hormones. This is you after you start eating better and getting fats and nutrients and vegetables, but you're still on hormones. And then this is me now. Age. Chainsaw Man insert. Actually, no. You're gonna laugh. I'm a really big horror movie fan. This pose is actually based off of American Psycho, but the pose that Denji makes in Chainsaw Man is the American Psycho pose. You'll also see that he makes the pose that Bubba from Texas Chainsaw Massacre makes as well. And I felt like the actually emoji when I was telling people that, but I have to share that information. Me when I recognize the horror references in Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man has so many media references. That's because Fujimoto is chill as fuck, and I need to take him out for a beer. Actually, that's a lie. I don't drink beer. I don't like it. It tastes like piss. Like horse piss. It's like, actually, I don't know what that tastes like. It's what I imagine horse piss to taste like. It has the aura of horse piss. I don't like beer. I don't like anything with hops. I don't like ale. I do like whiskey. But pretty much anything other than that, no. It's my least Irish quality. Chainsaw Man has a Sharknado reference and a menu reference. Yeah, I actually need to watch that movie. I've heard good things. Isn't estrogen... Wait, pause. No, that's a lie, right? That's a lie. Right? Cycrum? That's a lie? Please? It is? What? Okay. Wow. Modern medicine is so amazing. And testosterone? Okay. I mean, listen, you know that, and I know how vanilla extract is made, so we both know something evil. It's okay, you know how vanilla extract is made. Stop. This is what being together with someone for 5 years looked like. You start talking and saying the same exact sentence at the same time. It's scary. Actually, it's cute. I like it. I think I made the arm too short. How exactly is vanilla extract made? In a way that I cannot say on stream. Is this about the horse urine? Unfortunately. It's not gonna stop me, but it is pretty funny. I did not know that. The menu is good? Okay, I'm making a note. I really want to watch Weapons, because that's the other one I've heard good things about. Um, but I want to watch the menu as well. Sorry, I keep clicking my tongue. I'm like focused on drawing the underside of this arm because it's beating my ass. Meow. I'm from YouTube chat. What did they say? I don't get it. That testosterone and estrogen are made using horse urine, which is a fun fact I didn't really need to know, but will not stop my transition. Godspeed. I learned from the Create add-on. The what? It used to be me. Oh, so it's not anymore. It's fine. If horse urine is what it takes, man. Okay, so it's not even made that way anymore. It's not even made that anymore. That's fine. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, modern medicine is amazing. I just joined! I'm so sorry, Flex. If you take both estrogen and testosterone, you turn into a horse. I have done this and that did not happen to me, so no. I can confirm, did not turn into a horse. Actually, funny answer, yes, because in a way I turned into a horse, but not in a way that anyone will understand or know. But no. Posture check, thank you. If you're talking about the beaver thing for vanilla extract, it's a myth? Wait, Toby, you're shitting? I didn't know that. Also, Kara, no, it's not harmful. It's not harmful. Like, a lot of medicine is made from really... Like, for example, not even just medicine. Did you know that Jell-O and anything that has gelatin in it is made from animal bone marrow, so they're not technically vegan? There's a lot of things that are made using very strange sources, which I find really interesting because I love how resourceful humans are. But that does scare a lot of people when I share that fun fact. I guess I'm a little too autistic for some audiences, but it's okay. All that to say, just because something is made from kind of like a non-traditional animal source, or just a non-traditional source in general, does not mean it's inherently harmful, because a lot of this stuff has to go through drug approval processes before it can be used. You're free to go, ew, yucky, but you also have to understand, a lot of medicine and a lot of food is like that. Horse love apple? This is true. People joining an art stream talking about the history of horse urine. Also... Hold on. I really am curious about I'm not shitting. That's really cool. I did not know that that was a myth. That's been haunting me forever since the vanilla extract thing was mentioned. I heard that it was only imitation vanilla extract. So, because like genuine vanilla extract is just made from alcohol and vanilla. But also to Dotted, you are more... Dotted said, anyone have any weird how it's made facts to share with the class? Yes, but pause. It has to be class appropriate. No talking about anatomical body parts or anything that would get you flagged on Twitch or YouTube. But if it's just potty talk, that's fine. I don't care. Literally, we just talked about horse urine, so that's fine. With the heavy warning that if anyone is getting grossed out by this conversation, speak now and I will stop it immediately. But, and you can be honest, it's fine. I just want to be sensitive to the fact that not everyone enjoys that kind of a thing. I think it's interesting because I like science, but I also want to be respectful. I just joined, what are we talking about? Hilarious time to join stream. Welcome in, Baby Wes. I'm trying to get better at art to draw diagrams for my plant class. Well, that would be awesome. Honestly, that's a really admirable goal too, because I love drawing plants. Since neither are food grade or human approved. Interesting. Sorry, I was reading your chat. Glue is made of horse bones. What is it with horses back in the day? I mean, do you want the historic answer? The thing is, when a horse gets injured and it can no longer work as a work animal, it's a very large animal to take care of and feed. And, sorry, this is going to be the farmer history coming out a little bit. When you have a horse that's lame, like that's hurt its leg, it's very difficult to get that horse to live because, especially if it's hurt its back or its leg, it's going to need to be propped up and fed manually, basically. They can't really walk around and a horse that's broken his leg is probably going to starve to death. So typically what happened is as horses got older, or if they got injured, the horses would be used for their parts. And it's very sad to say, but that is also the reality of working on a farm. Farm animals are not... They are friends, you can treat them nicely, you can be kind to them, but at the end of the day, a mouth to feed is a lack of resource. So it's why you see a really big difference in, like, people that keep farm animals as pets, which is fine, and people that keep farm animals on a farm. And also, I guess things have changed now that a lot has been automated, so you can just keep horses for pets. But there's a reason that a lot of our stuff and our animal products came from horses, because they had to do something with the horses when they couldn't work anymore. I'm incredibly autistic about horses. This conversation is delighting me. I'm so happy, Eric. I knew that this would be up your alley. Like, I'd eat horse electrolytes if it was human approved and safe to eat. Actually, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, is, like, I don't really find the sort... okay, I am not a picky eater in the traditional sense. I get bothered by certain textures because of, like, autism. But when it comes to, like, people going, would you eat a bug? I'm like, I mean, yeah. If it tasted good, if it was safe to eat. I don't really get the fear factor, gross out factor from things and people saying something's bad to eat, because I'm sitting here like, as long as the texture's fine and the flavor is fine, I don't really care. I don't know, like, I'm just not gonna get scared off by that kind of thing. Like, one of my first seafoods that I ever ate was steamed octopus. The whole octopus leg. Not even, like, in something. Also, shrimp and crab are bugs, that is true. And I love them, they're yummy-ass bugs. Sorry, shrimp and crab. It's not my fault you taste so good. I will continue eating you. Yeah, nothing goes to waste on a farm, especially for pigs. Absolutely. So many things are made of pig. So many things are made of pig. That's one of the reasons. I think it's called halal, right? Like, where you don't eat pork. It's... I want to make sure I'm getting it right.
I don't know if that's the name for it or the name of the standard in which
something
kosher
has to be prepared.
Yeah, because I know kosher is the standard.
Kosher's the standard for Judaism, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And then halal is for Islam?
Yes, but I'm not sure if it's like kosher, in which it's how things are prepared or butchered.
Or if it's just the practice of not eating.
Yeah.
Also, anyone is welcome. Yes, it's halal. Okay. Halal is also about how meat is killed. Okay.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Is under the practice, are you allowed to eat pork, or is it like you can't eat pork at all? Because we were just talking about, not just talking. We just stayed with family, and one of my cousin's wives is Islamic, and she was talking about the food she can't eat. And I remember her saying something, because we were packing lunches together, and she was talking about not being able to eat pork. And I was like, okay, that's good. I'll make sure that when I pack sandwiches or anything for the kids that I bring, like, PB&Js and stuff like that.
Which they couldn't even eat anyway.
No pork at all. No, they weren't allowed to eat the Uncrustables because they have bad teeth. I felt so bad.
And the one was sneaking them.
He was sneaking. Okay, sorry. We went on a vacation recently with some of my family, and the kids were so goddamn cute. They were so funny. And parents love them to death, obviously. It's my cousin and his wife. And while I was talking to his wife, it was my first time meeting her.
I'm so sorry. That was the polyfill bag. I was trying to... That scared the crap out of me. I'm so sorry.
No pork ever. Other meat only if it's halal. Thank you, Bug Paws. Sorry, we were stuffing stuffed animals that we had gutted and re-sewn up.
I was just trying to close the polyfill bag so somebody didn't eat it, and then it blew up in my face.
It's okay. Halal is the way the meat prepared, which includes meat and blood. Thank you, Mary. Genuinely. I also do I really like learning about this too. I think that it's cool. Toasty said, no pork, alcohol, blood, meat byproducts from pigs. Slaughter has to be done according to Islamic law. The facility for processing also has to be completely separate. Oh, from any of the aforementioned products. That makes sense. That actually makes sense with some of the things. Because like I said, we were staying with them, and I was trying to go through the foods to make sure I wasn't packing anything that wouldn't be considered halal. And there were some things that I was surprised by, and then other things that I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense because that uses pig products. But like I said, the kids were really funny. Their mom was like telling me what I could and couldn't pack for them, and when we got to the Uncrustables, I was surprised. I was like, is there pig in Uncrustables? And she's like, no, they just can't eat those because they get cavities. And I was like, oh, okay. But it was really funny. And then, like Forrest said, the one kid was sneaking them anyway. Because I told them they were allowed to eat them before I knew that she didn't want them to because of their teeth. And then one of the nights I come out, and the kid's got his hand in the freezer, and he turns around, and he puts his finger up to his mouth like the little shush sign, and he starts eating an Uncrustable. And I'm like, I don't want to get in between this because I love your mom and she's a funny lady, but I don't want to get you in trouble either. So I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. Oh my god, they were hilarious. They were really sweet kids too. Like I said, I can tell it was the side of my family that I haven't seen a lot because my mom had a falling out with one of the grandparents on that side of the family. It was really sad because like I didn't know that's why. But years later, we have now reconnected, and it's been really nice. But it has been really crazy to see that guy go from, like, my cousin, who I just hang out with sometimes and is cool, to, like, a married guy with 3 kids. And, like, he's a great dad, too. But I remember when we were playing Mario together, and he was like, gotta get good. If you can't play, you don't get a controller. And I was like... I'm realizing YouTube's stream is a little behind compared to Twitch. It shouldn't be if you refresh, but... Excuse me. Lemmy said, okay, quick clarifications on topics. Vanilla extract is not made from beavers. The chemical extract from them is too expensive and rare. And then 2, Premarin does use mare piss, but to this day, but it's not a common substance in modern estrogen products. That's really interesting. And thank you, Lemmy. What do your nibblings refer to you as? Like the kids? I actually don't know. Most of the kids just called me by my first name and Forrest by my first name. Because my cousins are my second cousins, we're not technically related by blood. Or no. I think we call them our second cousins, but they're something else entirely. But we've always just called them our second cousins. They're not related by blood, but they're related by marriage. And so I don't technically think I would be like an aunt or an uncle to the kids, but I also am happy to be part of their family, so I'm okay with them just calling me my first name. I'm also not that old yet. I can't be like a Mimi yet. I'm not even close. Yakety said, I posted this already, so sorry if this is... No, it's okay. But your streams are really good, and I haven't been watching them much lately. Just being here for an hour makes me feel like things will be okay. Has been in the horror mines for a few months. This is not a reference. No, I fully understand. And, like, I'm glad I try to have that kind of community. And like I said, if the animal product conversation is uncomfortable, we can stop, because I don't want it to be alienating for anyone that's coming here to just chill. But I am grateful for the community that I have, and I like the topics we talk about. No, don't worry, I knew, Yakety, I knew, it was a joke. Artificial vanilla extract is made from vanillin, which is derived from wood pulp and other things, if I remember correctly. That might make sense how the beaver myth started. I'm wondering if that's how it started. But made of wood pulp is a lot less scary than the other one. It's very late for me, so I'm going to bed. Have a lovely rest of stream. Thank you. Just check to confirm, but yeah, chalk is made of sea creature skeletons. Oh yeah, and you know what else is made of creature? Lipstick is made of fish scales, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's all lipsticks, but I remember talking to a friend that couldn't use lipstick or a lot of brands because it's technically not vegan. Sorry, I'm sniffly. Scared I was just gonna mention that. No, I just think it's cool. I like learning about food science, animal product science. It's neat. I love how people freak out over the beaver thing, but when people found out about guano and makeup, nobody cares. I don't understand why either. I don't know, the beaver thing never really scared me. Actually, it was Forrest's mom. I love that woman so much. Like, every time we tell stories about her, I miss her so much. But the one thing that got me giggling is that she started making her own vanilla extract at home because she heard that myth. And she's like, I'm not eating something that's made out of that. So she started learning to grow her own vanilla and make her own vanilla extract, which is, if you don't know anything about the process of farming a tropical plant like vanilla, wildly impressive. It's about as difficult as growing orchids, which is also really hard. But that was just who she was. It didn't matter how difficult the plant was. She would figure out how to do it because that was who my mother-in-law was. And I was really impressed by it, and we still have one of the last jars that she ever made, or last bottles she ever made before she passed. Orchids are hard? Yeah. At least for me. I always kill them. Night, Critter. I just wanted to ask, I saw the post about what happened to the prince. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, we've had a porch pirate for the last few weeks, so we've got to change our address where we're getting things mailed in. And I'm kind of mad because I know they probably are not keeping 500 prints of Mareep, and they probably just pitched them in the trash as soon as they saw what they were. But I do love the vision of them actually using all of them. Oh, looks at the 2 orchids I have. Listen, Tay, we both know that you're good at keeping plants. You have talked to Forrest in depth about keeping houseplants. You have no need to be humble. I am always impressed by your skills. But yes, orchids are very hard to keep. To my understanding, I've always struggled with them, and I would say I'm like a moderate, like, newbie hobbyist houseplant keeper. I had it in aloe when I was in college, and a pathos, and that was about it. I did not know that for a good while, so that might explain my problems. Oh yeah, the allergy to it. Are you allergic to fish? If you were having any kind of allergic reaction to to chalk or lipstick, that very well could be it. I don't know if it's processed in a way that removes the allergens, but it would be good to check. Very off topic, the conversation at hand. Very off topic for the conversation at hand, but I remember in another vid you had a rant about it, and I wanted to know, any advice on getting yourself to sit down and plotting your comic after putting it off for so long? Do you want the advice that I would tell people normally, or do you want the crazy advice that actually worked? I've never had luck with orchids. I think I've always kept my house too dry for them. Yeah, I don't like it being humid. I'm a baby. Also, I saw Parker say rude. Who were you responding to? Tills are in the way of the arms? Oh, hold on, I got you. I'm sorry about that. There you go, my friend. Sorry about that, Miser. Thank you for letting me know, too. Sorry, I tried to hide the big-ass tails, and I didn't realize they got in the way. My numlock's not working. I don't like sweating. No, neither do I. You want the crazy answer? Okay, I just saw ads started, too, unless that's, like, behind. So... My normal answer is this. Making a deadline for yourself and breaking up the task of your pre-production process like you are actually working in a studio is probably the most solid way to get your work going. Specifically, I said, when I came up with the ideas for Like This Comet and I was like, I want to make this a comic, I sat myself down. This was like April 22nd, 2022. And I was like, in 1 year's time, if I do not have a workable concept and pages drawn for this, I am going to kill the project. I'm going to let it die. I'm not going to do anything with it. But if I can make something workable in a year's time of genuine passion, dedication, and effort, then I'm going to do this as a comic until I get tired of it or I have to stop. Oh, the porch pirates. Stealing people's packages is rude as fuck. No, it is. And the thing is, if someone was stealing something like a toiletry, food, blankets, clothes, even if they were stealing toys, because I understand a lot of times they're just teenagers that are bored, I wouldn't be as mad because I understand people, either they weren't taught that stealing was wrong, in which case I wish them luck in life and I'll survive, or they genuinely need those things. And I think that if they really need it that badly, I don't care. I don't care at that point. I'll just change where I'm getting things sent. But also, I haven't been paying much attention due to how Eating House the study's going. Actually, really well. Hold on. I've got my on the left side is the one that I did tracing, and on the right side is the one that I did from observation. Although this one's flipped. The right side is the trace and the left side is the observation. These are more like, I hate to say like rope exercises, like I'm just enjoying like learning the shapes, but I plan to do a more in-depth muscle structure for myself at a later date. I just thought that might be kind of hard to do and talk during streams, so this is a good first step. Now, to the comic planning thing, because, sorry, I had like 3 subjects going at once. That is insane. I'm terrified that I would procrastinate because of the pressure. That's not the insane answer. That's the normal answer. That's the answer I would give to people normally, is setting yourself a deadline like you're working on a team project, and then saying at the end of the year, if I don't have anything workable, I'm killing this project. The insane answer is, I told myself, in a year's time, if I don't get this done, I am going to die. I'm going to die, and I'm going to be a failure, and I'm not going to do anything with my life, and I should just give up at art. I have to stop drawing. I'm going to accept being a food service worker. I'm not going to do anything. And I'm going to stop posting art. Insane standards to hold for myself, by the way. I would not recommend doing this, but that is what wound up working. Weaponized OCD. That is a very good way of putting it. I may be mentally ill, but I do make my mental illnesses fight each other like Pokemon, and I will tell you, the OCD fear of death and like intrusive thoughts will kick you in the ass. If you have any sort of procrastination issues at all, it is definitely, be careful. Bro, what a heavy topic has stumbled upon. To be fair, it's about writing comics. And it's a little bit funny because it is what ended up working. By telling myself that I had to quit drawing if I didn't start my webcomic in a year, I now have a webcomic that's been going on for 3 years. So take that as you will. You guys know yourself better than me, but I know for me that the only thing that works is to be unabashedly insane to myself and then be unrelenting in my standards, and that usually does the trick. It's also like, sorry, I'm sniffly. When I first started dating Forrest, there was a moment in our relationship, it was like maybe 2 months into us dating, where I thought, oh my god, this guy is too good for me. I don't deserve someone like him. He deserves someone so much better than me. Maybe I should just break up with him because it would be doing him a favor. I suck. I'm a terrible person. And then I sat down with myself for a second, had a very serious conversation, and said, you would be stupid as shit to break up with this guy. He is the best thing that has ever happened to you, and the nicest goddamn person you have ever met. And you're telling me that you hate yourself so bad that you're gonna leave him because you can't clean up your act? No, instead, you're gonna clean up your shit, you're gonna become the person that he deserves, and you're going to kick yourself in the ass until you get there. And now we're engaged and we've been dating for 5 years. So it did work. All I'm going to say, like I said, is you know yourself as an individual best. You know yourself better than anyone else. But for me, the insane, unrelenting whip crack standards have been the only thing that have worked for me, because I am, unfortunately, a little bit of a procrastinator and I'm a little bit of a schmooze. If there's work that I can get out of, I will try to do it. So I had to hold myself to higher standards than that. Honestly, I kind of wish I had that self-discipline. I mean, when I said that I weaponize my mental illnesses against each other, I'm not even kidding. The second that you learn to turn self-loathing into self-discipline, and instead of turning it into, like, flagellation and being like, I suck, I should die, I should blow up, and instead of being like that, yelling at yourself to get off your ass, it will do you wonders. Like I said, from experience. Also, I am going to move the picture over here, but that's just because I'm going to do the observation drawings. Now the dancing chibi's in the way. Oh, I'm sorry, Cyan. Hold on, let me move these up. Let me move these up a bit. Someone else who thinks like this. It worked. The only thing I'm gonna say is, if you are the Whiplash band director of OCD, the only thing I'm gonna say is that breaking the different disable details. See, I keep trying to do that and they're not going away. I don't know. No, why did that work? I was trying to do it earlier and the button wasn't working. Well, now it's gone, so the tails are gone. Sorry about that. I don't know why it wasn't working before. I might have been tabbed into a menu or something that has a hotkey that uses numlock 2, and it was responding to that. The Tails wanted to make a liar out of you. They did. They're out to get me. They have a mind of their own. Joke's funnier when you're redacted. Hold on. Dang, finally found out the trade-off for giving myself a god complex. I'll never hate myself, but I can also never weaponize self-hatred to motivate myself. That's not true. You can prove the god complex right. You have to, if you're like, oh, I have to get better. You have to get better so that you can prove to people that your god complex is deserved. As a heavy procrastinator, I can spend 3 months wanting to practice and do nothing the whole time. Like I said, different things work for different people. For me, it was the kicking myself in the ass, and I guess the other thing is like the fear of death. I know people are gonna be like, oh my god, that's so heavy. It works though. The wanting to do something and not getting it done for 3 months is something I struggled with until I started telling myself, this is gonna sound really bad, until I started telling myself, you could die at any moment. Remember, if you don't start doing it, you could die tomorrow. And that is what got me to work. And is that maybe not the best mindset? Yeah, in the long run, you should find other sources of motivation. But if everything else is failing right now, sometimes cooking with gas is the only thing you have around. So it did work for me. And I'm not giving this as official advice, I'm giving this as, if you want my crazy ass advice, it is what worked. Maybe not the best way to do things, but I remind myself that I don't have forever enough. Stop! Literally, Jello, that's exactly what I was saying. I'm sorry, sometimes it's all that works. I tried that, but all I got was crippling anxiety. It depends, like I said, it so depends on who you are. If you are someone that gets pressed down by pressure rather than motivated by it, then it probably will not work for you. The other thing that I can recommend, but this is not something you can manufacture unless you decide to be the person that does it yourself, finding someone that believes in you. I think that while I joke about like kicking myself in the ass as being the thing that got me to draw and like get my webcomic done, the other part of that is that Forrest, from the minute that we met and to the day that I've known him today, has always been one of my biggest supporters and cheerleaders. And even the moments where I've doubted myself and thought that I wasn't good enough for something, I've always been good for him. And I think that it doesn't matter how bad it gets, if he loves me and he loves the things that I make, then I'm doing something right, and that's worth continuing to make things for. Sometimes it just takes one person. And it's hard to always be that person for yourself, so I understand that, you know, you can't always be your biggest supporter. It is good to learn how to be a supporter of yourself, but it is also nice to have someone in your corner. That wouldn't work, I don't fear death. So I didn't until I did, which, okay, that's such a non-answer. I did not think I was gonna live past 18, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna live past 21. And then I did, and then I actually started liking my life because I was making it my own instead of living for people that hated me. And then I became very scared of dying, and now I'm more death neutral. I wish for a partner like that. It's possible. The other thing is too, and I'm gonna tell you this, I did say you can't manufacture someone that believes in you, but what you can do is you can believe in other people. And I think that the world needs more people that believe. I think that, oh, follower goal met! Awesome. Wait till you live past 100? Actually, my goal is to make it to 100. I'm gonna make it to 100 and then I'm gonna die. That's my goal. Speaking of Forrest, how is his desk going? I think that guy's laying in bed right now, but when it's a little brighter out tomorrow, I can take a picture, because from what I can see, it looks really cute. I think he's done a really nice job with it. By sniff. Mizar said, used to be active in Nuzlocke community, and those folks were great at motivating each other to work on comics. Daily comic work check-in servers. Wait, that's really sweet, actually. That's a phenomenal way of getting motivation. Oh wait, we just got a raid, too. Welcome in, Ologists. Hello, and hello, raiders. I'm so sorry, I sound like Rudolph because I'm sniffly, but I am still doing my best to power through and stream. Also, someone asked if this was Christmas music. I don't think it is, but now I want to check. No, it's Wii Sports Resort music. I'm studying arms as well. Oh, that's phenomenal. Welcome in. I am mostly just doing form studies and So I first I'm tracing the photo, and then I'm redrawing the photo from observation to capture the form. I'm not doing any sort of diagrams or muscle breakdowns tonight. Originally, I was thinking about maybe doing it, but trying to do that on stream and label muscle groups when I was a little bird brains at the beginning of stream, I was like, I think I'll do something in the vein of what I wanted to do, but a little more lackadaisical on myself. Also, I did see we made follower goal, which is so cool. I have been meaning to give you guys another criticisms, and I know we just did one, but like, do you guys have a topic you want to do? Bird brains? No, not the Tato song, but I do know that song. Critter made me less hungry. Critter made me hungry like an hour ago, so I left to eat. Strawberry, you never have to apologize for eating. I'm proud of you. I honestly, that's my evil diabolical plan the whole time, is that I'm gonna make sure that you guys are feeding yourselves and you're getting the nutrients you need. Ah, I want to be able to talk without sniffling. Oh wait, I saw someone say hair, clothes. Hey Critter, I just want to say I've been watching your streams after school every day, and it's been bringing joy to my days. I love your art being here. Thank you. You can't see. I'm making a little heart hand with my hands. All right, I see. I'm checking down. I see hair. I see clothes. What else? What else? What else? Also, Lapsy said, evil villain behavior, making people eat. I am. I'm making sure you take care of yourself because I love you. It's okay. You will be soon once you've been on your meds for a bit. Yeah. Once I get once the antibiotics start working, I'm not going to be snuffly anymore. How about composition? That is one. I would like to do a teaching night on composition, because I think that composition, I could help with it, but it is another one that's a little more subjective, and I would like to take some time to study it myself before I start teaching other people how to do it with their pieces, if that makes sense. But I will do it at some point. The only reason I haven't is because I'd like to take some time to actually build a lesson that can be done in an hour. Critter says, what? Oh, okay, so sorry, I realize not everyone knows what criticisms are. On my YouTube channel, and on streams themselves, I do a series of streams that are called Criticisms, which is basically just criticisms, but with Critter at the beginning. It was an idea and name proposed by Quan Koda in chat, and I loved it so much that I've kept it and I've honored the name since. Basically what it is I make a Google Doc link. Ow, my elbow. I make a Google Doc where you guys can submit your art, and every time we do a criticisms, I pick a theme to do the criticisms on. You submit your art, and it can be a piece where you're struggling with, let's just give an example. Last time we did a criticisms, it was on anatomy and posing. And I say, submit here, submit a piece that you're struggling with the anatomy or posing of, or the bodily proportions of, for humanoid anatomy, and then I'm going to pick 3 to 4 pieces to go over on stream, and I try to build a lesson for the whole audience based off those pieces. So it's not just like I'm sitting one-on-one with a person and going over their piece and doing that with every single piece. It's more like I try to give criticisms to individuals that submit and then turn it into a general lesson that could benefit everybody. And what I do is anytime we make a follower goal, or as an option for making sub goals, I've let people ask that we do criticisms, because they are really popular stream topics, and I also like really enjoy doing them. They also make for good YouTube videos, so self-indulgently I like doing them because I like seeing that I can help people on YouTube too. Because some people are just not built for streams, and that's okay. I want to help those guys out. I've been wondering about learning to panel better in comics for a while. That's another one that I don't feel, I feel too green in that topic. Like, for reference, while I have been writing comics for myself for years, it's not, with reference, I've never been published, and I only just started writing a webcomic 3 years ago. And 3 years ago sounds like a lot when you have never written a webcomic, but looking around at the other artists around me, I would feel remiss in trying to teach you something that I am arguably kind of a novice in, compared to some people that have been doing this for like 10 plus years. But when it comes to things like color, anatomy, facial expressions is a huge one. I have been doing those for so long, and I would say that I'm pretty pleased with my skills. I'm always able to learn new things, but those are things I feel like can actually give healthy criticisms in that will aid you and the audience as a whole. Why is critter green? Saying someone's green is like saying they're new at something. It's a reference to the idea that when a plant is recently budded, the leaves are more green than they are when it's in its older age and it turns orange or withers and turns brown. But I like saying it. I think it's a very cute turn of phrase. Also, yeah, I will put a Google form out. I put the Google form out in the community tab on YouTube. I put it on Blue Sky, and I put it on Tumblr. And then I do sometimes link it to the Twitch chat, because I know some people on Twitch don't follow me any of the other places. Young tree stems are green inside too. I didn't know that. That's actually really cool. I always equated it to the phrase of like horses being green. Wait, now I want to know what that means. They are green for an amazing reason. Also, thank you for the stars, Metal Morning Star. Hold on, I want to make sure that I'm not missing... This is so cute. Critters only turn this color when they're about to eat a door. Someone asked about clothing characterization. Wait, what does that... Hold on. Clothing is characterization. Dada, do you mean like clothing as it pertains to how to show a character's personality? That would fall more into design. And okay, here's the thing. People keep asking me to do character design critiques, and I really like doing character design. Like, obviously, I love character design. But after people reacted really badly on YouTube, I'm scared. I don't know if I want to do that. But I like it. That's the problem, is like the things that I enjoy are also the things that I know people that get kind of heated about. So I'm like, I want to help you, but I need to figure out how to present this in a way that won't have people killing me. Twitch only? I could do a Twitch only video. I wouldn't mind that either. Hold on, there's something wrong with the proportions of where I put the lines in this. Oh yeah. I like holy missed a muscle. Do you think it's possible to make a 3-section comic in one day? It's for history, so it doesn't have to be super good. Do you mean like a 3-panel comic? Absolutely you can. For reference, just to like pull it up, this is not my normal, but on a crunch, in a bad spot, I have finished... I'm trying to find the one that I did. I finished this entire page of Leica's in one day, like start to finish. So yes, it's possible. Don't do it all the time. And certainly don't make that your regular work practice, but it is more than possible to do it. Was it just on the YouTube video? Yeah, it was just on the YouTube video. The YouTube chat, you guys are delightful. You have never done anything to hurt my fifis. I promise, you guys are sweet. It's usually the YouTube commenters. Like I said, typically speaking, people that are built for streams and they like to sit down and watch live streams have a little bit more patience to hear out where someone's going. With the YouTube videos, typically what happened is I could tell and see that the people that were leaving those comments were people that only watched like 2-3 minutes of the video and then got mad and commented. And again, this is not a crime. I also probably assumed that they were not very old. I'm guessing that they were younger kids that were seeing the edits that I made to the design and were like, because I even had someone say this. They were like, I feel like you would call my art and my designs bad. And I responded to them. I was like, no, I would not do that. I don't do that. Me giving critique that someone asked for is not because I want to tear apart something that's near and dear to your heart. But unfortunately, and I said this on a previous stream, I think the like cringe comp era of YouTube where people took DeviantArt artists and online artists OCs and like ripped them to shreds without even asking if they could be featured, it put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. So I try to have some empathy with where those people are coming from, even though it makes me sad to see like myself get mischaracterized that way. I understand that it's very often not anything to do with anything I've done and more just people's reaction to that type of content in general. people have a problem with constructive criticism, that's their problem, not theirs. It's true, though I do try to find a way to phrase things in a way that gets people to engage rather than gets people to react. Because I think that I would like to be helpful to all members of the audience, not just the ones that are willing to receive constructive criticism right off the bat. Also, Harpy said, there's one YouTube comment on a video of yours that was so bad, I saved it to my funny folder. I'm like, wait, which one? Can you show me? Because it's very possible I also reacted to the same one. I think as a YouTube video, just add a disclaimer at the beginning that everyone featured requested the criticism. I could do that. I could also say, because this is typically true, all of the people featured in the stream or done in the stream were people that were actively in the chat of the stream. So I was able to talk to them and ask them about their design process and thoughts while I was doing it. Because I feel like that's a really big part of the reason that people react, is that they think that their vision is going to get tamped down by someone that, like, doesn't care about it and doesn't care about what they wanted to do and just wants to commandeer the design to make it to their taste. Which, trust me, as someone that has done character design, not just in a professional setting, but also done character design for kids. Like, I know I've mentioned it before, but, like, one of the things that I did in my education was we basically did, it wasn't for Make-A-Wish, but it was an adjacent program where we animated and designed characters based off of little kids' stories, and a lot of them were, like, terminal patients. Like, I don't think any of them that I worked with are still alive, unfortunately. I know how to meet someone's vision. Oh wait, thank you for the shop sale, I missed who that was. I know how to meet and honor someone's vision and talk to them and figure out what they were going for. And for me personally, that is always a priority over what I think a design should be. Also, Chai, thank you for the shop sale. And the posture check. I kept having to go hi again. What are you yapping about? It's okay, Jade. We're just talking about character design and someone asking for character design, or people asking for character design critiques, and me saying I could do it as a stream only, but doing it as a YouTube video, the comments kind of scare me a little bit. This is unfortunately a very common thing in critique videos. It is. It's part of the reason why I try to stick to things that are like technical skill, because I think one of the biggest things too, like I said with the design sensibilities, is that because they are so personal, and what someone makes to be readable versus what someone makes just to be indulgent, they both have space. I think that, like, me making an OC that's just for myself and is not designed to be like a video game character or a comic character, or even removing it from indulgency. A character that's designed to be animated versus a character that's designed to be made as just an illustration are wildly different character designs. Like, if you're animating a character over and over again, 24 FPS for a multi-minute animation, the design that you're going to be able to, execute is going to be very different than a design you could do if you're just doing a still illustration. Also, the only reason I'm not showing the comment is because I do not want to put anyone on blast. Even if it was a bad comment, me kikiing about it by myself with a mod is not the same as showing my Twitch chat. Even if people are rude to me, I would rather let them be rude and make that mistake and grow up a little than I would to put them on blast. I think that everyone deserves the chance to be a little bit of an asshole. You've got until you're in your 20s, and if you're still an asshole by the time you're 22, that's when it's like, alright, you might just be a bad person. Everyone can change, by the way, it's never too late, but that's the tendency that Ra has mentioned this before and, like, observed and said, you have through your teens and your early 20s to get out of your dickhead phase. Everyone's going to be a little bit of a dickhead during those years because you're just starting to get, like, some form of self-confidence that you might have not had as a teenager. But if you're entering your 30s and you're still in your dickhead phase, it may be over for you. I've seen a-holes in their 30s, sad face, yeah. Personally, I'd love to see more videos giving design feedback, though. It's one of the most helpful character design videos I've ever seen. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sunshine Beetles, and thank you, Soba. Are you ever going to do a viewer design stream in the future? Oh, like viewer designs characters? Two real arts. I don't know if if you knew this, but not only have I done those before, I've actually done them twice, and I fully plan to do another one when we hit our sub goal, because that's what everyone picked for sub goal this time. Let me see if I can find Uni. Uni was the last one we did. And actually, what happened is, the first time we did it, people voted to give the character away to someone in stream for free, which I thought was really sweet. I really liked seeing it. But then the second time we did it, chat voted for a communistly owned character. So Uni, this character design, is now everyone's OC. If you want to have Uni as your fursona, Uni can be your fursona. If you want Uni to show up in your comic or your game or your whatever, you can do that. You can use Uni for anything. That is what chat decided. So it is the chat's OC. Baby, why are you Lemmy smiling? Oh, that is adorable. It was so much fun to draw. And this design, what we did is I made polls in the Twitch chat, and I had people vote on the polls, and whatever won the polls was the element of the design we gave to the character. So for example, I think a general one we had was, do we want this character to be, like, what kind of sea creature do you want this character to be? And then after they picked what kind they wanted to be, I was like, okay, what subspecies of the sea creature do you want it to be? Because people picked a nudibranch, which is what Uni is, and then after that, I believe they picked, I think this is a violet flame nudibranch, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember, it's been a bit. But then other things were like, do we want the character to be plus size? Do we want the character to have a tail? Do we want the character to be Digitrade or Plantigrade? And it was really fun. I'm fully planning on doing another one of those again, because it was really fun. I would like to do one and turn it into a video, but I think we'd have to have a better recorded version of it, because when we did one last time, we didn't record any of the polls, so I had to figure out what the polls were in retrospect, and that was a bit rough. You've been at work, that's not slacking. Me? Or Forrest? Forrest has not been slacking. Wish me luck on my shiny hunt. LF Benirian Platinum Eterna Forrest. Cyan, that was my last full odds shiny hunt. When I did double encounters in Eterna Forest. I'm not even kidding. That is genuinely still one of my favorite shinies I've ever hunted. It took me 2 years, because I got a shiny Whirlpool for it at 14,000 encounters. Are we allowed to make our own version of Uni? Absolutely. Yeah, actually, and hold on. Excuse me, I keep breathing in too heavy and getting, like, a rasp in my throat. Not only can you do that, Uni also has a toy house, so if you would like the ref or to save the character design, please do so here. Hello, comically small cereal box. Also, Mary said, you're the nicest person on this godforsaken app. You don't roast for comedic value, you're genuine. I appreciate it. And it's also because at the end of the day, I have to go to bed with myself. And if I ever knew I was the reason that someone stopped loving art, I think I would, like, probably hate the person that I was. There's no money or fame that I can get that would be worth that exchange. Art is so important to me that the idea of taking the joy of creation from someone is probably the worst thing that I could think of myself doing. Like, I do think it would be kind of earth-shattering to do that. This run back to the boss is so evil. Baz, are you playing Silk Song, and if so, which boss? You don't have to spoil where you are, but you can say what boss. How was your doctor visit? If you don't... I'm more than happy sharing. Actually, it was the best doctor visit I've ever had. You know why? Forrest sat in with me. I genuinely, my entire life, I have been horribly, horribly disrespected by doctors. Like, I think I said last year when I was streaming, when I was coughing up blood because I was coughing so hard, I went to urgent care because I was like, this is pretty bad. I should probably go to a doctor now. And the lady looked me dead in the face after, again, coughing up blood. And she was like, have you tried cough syrup? And I'm sitting there looking at her like she's got 3 eyeballs. Like, What do you mean have I tried cough syrup? I've been on cough syrup, I've had cough drops, I've been taking COVID tests, I've been taking flu tests. What are you talking? Do you think I'm stupid? And then that's what her verdict was. Go home and take more cough syrup. And I got charged $250 for that, to get told to take more cough syrup. That is just a microcosm of the way that I've experienced American healthcare in my life. So as you can imagine, I don't love doctors, or I didn't love doctors. But today, Forrest took me to urgent care because, again, I have a cough that hasn't gone away for 2 weeks. And he came back and sat with me while I was talking to the doctors. And for the first time in my life, I was asked questions. I got to tell them my symptoms, and they believed me. I was able to talk about the steps and process of elimination in figuring out what it could possibly be, like saying I took a COVID test and a flu test, and saying I took cough syrup and cough medicine and Mucinex and bed rest and soup and water and electrolytes, and they actually listened. It was amazing. I guess all you need to do is have a man sit with you, and that works. But anyway, a little bit of bitterness aside, the doctor's appointment genuinely went well, and I got antibiotics and I got a cough medication that'll help so that my chest doesn't hurt. It's been really nice. I might be clearing my throat more, but it's just because I haven't been coughing, so my nose has been runny. I did also call you my husband, that is true. And you know what? Sure shit worked. Wait, also Baz, I didn't see what boss you were fighting. The one right before Act 2, stop. Are you fighting the judge? That's the one that I just got to. Because Sherma just got there for me too. I'm not even kidding. We're in the exact same part of the game. Again, I won't spoil where it is because I know some people aren't that far in Silksong, but that specific fight... Okay, I feel like I have an aura. You do, baby. You have kind of like, how did Nova say it? You have looming bear aura, and not the gay person. You have like when a grizzly bear stands up and stares at you. I know you're not like that. I know you are not like that, and you're very sweet. But I feel like people that don't know you see your kind of like angry resting face, which by the way, he doesn't even have. He has a very sweet resting face. I just think he's got a stoic face. Yeehaw for the stream? Yeehaw! All right. Too far, though, I do think you have an aura, but I don't think that it's a bad one. I find it endearing. I just know that some people may be intimidated by it. We're making the same amount of progress. Yep. Also, I still have someone to ask. You have a nasty cough and been coughing up blood. God, I'm in hell this month, and you're describing my exact experience. Random lamp. I was coughing up blood last year. I wasn't this year, but that's because I jumped on it faster than I did last year when I got a cough. Have you gotten the tool that goes on your mask in Hunter's March? No. Where is that? Because I've been in Hunter's March. I didn't know there was a tool there. Is it... Can you tell me what it's called and I can find where it is? But also to the people coughing up blood in the chat, please, oh my god, Critter froze for a second. Please go to your doctor. I'm telling you, or if you have a PCP, if you have a primary care physician, please go to your doctor that you know. If you don't, go to urgent care, because coughing up blood means that you're coughing hard enough that you're shredding your throat, and that's not a good thing. And also, if you have insurance but you don't have a PCP, typically if you have good insurance, urgent care is not going to be that expensive. Are the arms there to help with proportions? Actually, these are the arms that we drew. I've been live for about 3 hours now, so these are all the different arm studies we did. Hold on, let me go back. On this side, this is the one that I traced from the photo, and on this side, this is the one that I drew just looking at the photo. Typically, when I do studies, I start by tracing, and then I do an observation drawing afterwards. I deleted the photo references because the layer got chopped up while I was moving things around. And then sometimes I switch. This is the photo trace, and then this is the photo reference, like, observation. I can tell you're gay? Me? What do you mean? Farce, what does that mean? Are you talking to me? You drew the arms with more I'm gonna punch you. You're in the other room. Ready yourself, boy.
How was dessert?
Got his ass. Flawed it. Violence live on stream. It's okay, I just jumped on him. I didn't actually... I do not kill. I do not slay. Critter frozen in violence. Anyway, it actually has been 3 hours, and I've done all of the studies that I wanted to do. Wait, you're gay? I live with another man that I am engaged with, so take that as you will. But all that said, I've actually done all the studies that I wanted to do tonight, and we are at the end of stream. Honestly, I could draw more after this, but I might want to go do that laying down. Because, oh, and our playlist just ended. Yeah, okay, that's a sign from God. It's stream's over. It's time for bed.